Welcome to Nintendo Dads episode 479, recorded on May 23rd, 2024. On this week's episode, we talk about acquisitions, data miners, predictions, and rumors. Jesse, you know what to do.
What is up, everybody? Marty here with Nintendo Dads. It's episode 479 on May 23rd of 2024. And you know what? What a week. What a week it's been. And man, coming out of the gate hot. Joining us on the show this week, all the way from TikTok. Who's being accused of being the guy that does the boomer generation videos. Have you seen those?
Me?
Yeah, you.
I'm the boomer?
No, he makes fun of. He makes fun of it.
I know, I have not. I thought you called me a boomer because the audio came out. I'm like, I might be the youngest guy here.
Where he's like, he'll be like, he'll clear his throat. And then he'll like pick up a random electronic device like, Alexis, tell me why Joe Biden is gay. And all this.
No, I need to see this. This
Hawaiian
sounds
shirt,
like
he wears Hawaiian shirts.
okay.
They pop up in my feed a lot. Mecha.
Okay, yeah, that is me. Actually,
has
correct.
already.
I own those videos.
He has already derailed the show, and we're not even a minute in. Joining us also from the Great White North, Justin Masson, fresh in, hot, coming in hot, landed on
folks?
2 wheels. How are you?
I am. I'm literally eating dinner as we're doing this here, so doing all right. Excited to be here. Excited to talk Nintendo nerdy news.
Okay.
Maybe some predictions about Nintendo Directs, and then let's talk some Paper Mario. And so those are
we're definitely going to talk about all of those things. So you are in the right place. And speaking of being in the right place, Mr. Jesse Waldack on the board, ones and twos, beeps and boops, bass and treble. How's it going?
Doing pretty good. So a quick little PlayStation story. I was playing my VR poker game over the weekend, and like my system shut down like 3 times on me. So I'm like, okay, this thing needs to be serviced. So I drop it off at a U break iFix place. There you go. Yeah, it probably needs a new PSU based on the symptoms. It'll be 2 to 3 weeks, and it'll be almost $300. And I'm like, sure, fine, whatever. And the price wouldn't surprise me. Generally, the repair is half the price of a new unit. But got a notification today saying, hey, ready for pickup. I'm like, really? I dropped it up on Sunday. It's been less than a week. So a 2 to 3 week estimate was way short. So they said, yeah, we just did a cleaning. We didn't replace the PSU, and seems fine. So
I told you, said to vacuum it.
Well, it wasn't more. It was more than just a vacuuming. I think they reflowed it. So they said if it happens again, bring it in with your VR unit, and that way they can stress test it in VR. But yeah, because it was just a cleaning, it was only $100. So okay,
oh,
nice.
Even better.
That's
Even better. Yeah.
Fantastic.
And fantastic also are you, Tim Alf. How are you?
Why, thank you, sir. It's very kind of you. I'm great. How are you?
It has been a week.
But it's Memorial Day weekend coming up. You got to be excited for that. For us here in the U.S.
This is a post-show story, but ask me sometime how I almost lost $4,500 this week.
Okay. I'll try to remember that.
Yeah,
I will remember that.
Yeah.
It was not fun. We'll talk about it in the post-show, and we'll tell you in just a minute how you can get access to the post-show as well to hear that fun story and lots more. But we actually have quite a bit to deal with on this week's show, including, as already been alluded to, news, rumors, and the release of Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door on Nintendo Switch. So let's dive straight in, shall we? And our news each and every week is brought to us by our fine, faithful friends over at patreon.com/Nintendo Dads, where you can get access to the greatest community on the internet for just $1 a month, or the price of your Twitch Prime subscription. If you have an Amazon Prime subscription, also gets you in the door of the Discord. $5 gets you all our sub channels. $10 gets you pre and post show audio, and $30 gets you on the show as a Patreon producer. And we want to say a huge thanks to our brand new friends of the show, brand new patrons, Shinedown and Hoser Hunter 83, for joining up this week. And Tim, do you have some news? Speaking of Patreon and Twitch Prime subscribers, we were doing a contest, right?
Yep. We'll do that in the community spotlight because that's where our contests are. So we'll be able to do it there. They have to listen to the show.
Just duck and run. I like it. I like it. So thanks everybody for helping us make this community a great place. Every dollar goes toward making sure that we're able to create fantastic, good, consistent content for you. And so you can go over to patreon.com/Nintendo Dads. And you know what the best part of it all is? If you go over there, even for just the dollar tier, you get ad-free episodes of the show in your own special feed over there. We create it and package it up just for you. We sprinkle a little glitter on it and a little beard hair because, we're look, I mean, everybody here has, even Justin.
Except for Justin. But
no, Justin right now has facial hair. I'm very proud of him. I'm very proud of him.
5 o'clock. It's a little 12 o'clock shadow,
Yeah. So it's good. Well,
or is that 48 o'clock shadow?
Shut your mouth.
Just head over to patreon.com/Nintendo Dads. Join up today. News. Nintendo has acquired Shiver Entertainment out of Miami from the Embracer Group. This is another casualty of Embracer Group just buying up everything and then realizing they really couldn't afford it in the long run. Shiver Entertainment is most notable for porting Mortal Kombat 11, which is fine, and 1, which is not so good, as well as Hogwarts Legacy, which was great, to the Switch. They also, on the other hand, developed Scribblenauts Showdown and the Scribblenauts Showdown Mega Pack that have also launched on Nintendo Switch. This means that they join Next Level Games and SRD as 2021 and 2022 acquisitions, respectively, by Nintendo. What do you guys make about this? Nintendo pulling in a port studio, basically. Now,
this is great. This is great. Nintendo is not making a lot of acquisitions, right? They're not a company known like Microsoft to just throw the money around and pull everything in. They're conservative. They're a conservative company.
They normally only do it if they think a dev studio is going to be shuttered, and they said, no, we want to keep you.
Yeah. This I think is actually this is a really important move, I think, that people might potentially be missing. So Shiver, again, very well known for their porting, right? So Nintendo is saying, we're going to acquire a company who specializes in porting to Nintendo hardware, who has a solid track record of it, and who we have seen have worked with some high tier games, AAA games, to bring to the Switch. Now, Mortal Kombat, the recent one, there was definitely some challenges in the port, and they got patches through it. But Hogwarts Legacy is a great example of a game that was able to come over here. This is really important. And so a couple things to think about. Is this a huge benefit for the current Switch? Probably not, right? But this is future planning. This is allowing Nintendo to have their own in-house porting company as a vendor to square off against with EA, Ubisoft, all these big dogs, and who are like, yeah, we'd like to bring our games to the Switch, but I don't know if we, EA is like, I'm going to have to go find someone to do it. I don't have the time to do it. I have to figure out my own talent. They have to do their own work. I don't know if the effort's there. Nintendo says, hold my beer. We've got a whole company who specializes in this. So why don't you keep doing your thing? You send one of your reps, send one of your resources to meet with Shiver, start figuring out an ROI, start figuring out a project plan, hand them over the code. dust your hands and let us do our job. Let us do our job to make sure that your content can fit on our device the best. So they have a dedicated team, a dedicated company, right? A dedicated vendor who is specializing on bringing AAA experiences to Nintendo platforms. What we continue to have heard before is that, hey, Nintendo games are floating the system, indie games are floating the system. This is showing they recognize there's a gap, and they want to bridge that gap with a vendor to support other companies coming. This is great from a strategic perspective for Nintendo. And I think the fact that, again, they don't make a lot of acquisitions. When they do, stand up and think about, why are they doing this? This is future proofing. Again,
this is exciting too. As a gaming fan too.
This is a big move that's really important. Again, you're not seeing the impact tomorrow, but what you're going to see in 2 to 3 years from now, when you're like, man, I really want that game to be on the Nintendo Switch, the new Switch, and they're like, and it's now day and date, or it's 2 weeks later, or it's showing up the way we want it to. That's important, and that's because of this acquisition.
Takes away those excuses, right?
Yeah. Two thoughts I had on this. Number one is that whatever they do, I think it would be a great idea for Nintendo to share with them how they are able to compress things on their games.
That's where I was going to go. Well,
yeah,
they are Nintendo employees now.
Yeah, they're now part of Nintendo. So
yeah, because I mean, the fact that they're able to take games like Mario Wonder and Odyssey and get those insane file sizes out of them, as low as they are, would be a great tool in the tool belt for them. The other thing is I just have this mental image of them like in a warehouse somewhere, and they're all just kind of standing there, and it's like an alarm goes off and somebody's like, "We got one, boys." And the info's coming in, and they all kind of just start, like, everything's powering up, and the game development starts. It's like, what are they doing if they're not?
That's how it works.
They're just sitting there like charging.
That's what we do. We just sit here until Thursday night to start recording.
Right? Yeah, we're on the charger until Thursday night, right?
And then we power up and do a podcast.
But I do think, like, they're a company who probably now, who now, after the acquisition was acquired, have insight into exactly what is going on with the future Switch console. And now they can go to vendors and say, like, or go to companies and say, looking at your specs, we think Helldivers, example, we think Elden Ring, we think Star Wars Jedi, Survivor, we think whatever, based on those specs, based on information, we could do that. I know you didn't think it was possible before, but let us do that. And I think, so when it ends up coming out that here's the lineup and you see some of these big games that we've been expecting, man, that's awesome.
So now do Panic Button. Just buy them too.
Yeah, I mean, Panic Button's another great one who's done a lot of work, right? And I don't know, and again, we don't know if Panic Button just wasn't interested in the sale, or the fact that, like, listen, it's Embracer, so if we can get anything off of Embracer's plate that's not sinking the industry, that would be a great idea.
It kind of makes me wonder, like, what kind of, and I don't mean this disrespectfully when I say it this way, but what kind of deal did Nintendo get for this? Because, I mean, was it like, hey,
buy two companies, get one for free.
Here are some low tier offerings that aren't going to cost you much money. Like, here's, like you said ROI, right? Return on interest, or return on investment. Like how much did they spend on these guys, and what are they going to get out of it? I mean, Nintendo doesn't make these acquisitions lightly.
No,
they're not out here just buying things willingly. They're not Microsoft, right? They're not just purchasing stuff to close it down later.
They're doing it strategically, and they have a plan. This is exciting stuff.
Yeah. So I feel exactly like you do. Like, we're going to see the major benefit of this Switch 2, next Switch, whatever it's called. Absolutely. In other acquisition news, Atari has acquired the Intellivision brand, which includes the right to more than 200 titles from Intellivision in its portfolio and Intellivision trademarks. Atari says it will continue to digitally and physically distribute Intellivision titles, exploring licensing opportunities and potentially create new games. And this is news because we could see a lot of those titles on Switch now, but it kind of makes me wonder, like, did we not just see Atari as an indie developer in the last Indie Direct?
Yeah, well,
they were a publisher. Well, maybe they
yeah,
published it. I don't know.
they were publishing a Way Forward game, the Yard's
Yeah.
Revenge
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
sequel.
Yars, whatever.
Yard something.
Yep.
But yeah,
Yar.
this one kind of got me out of the blue. I didn't see this one coming.
Nobody thought Atari was gonna waste. I would see waste in the rumors before money on it.
The problem is
television.
Intellivision Entertainment already sold the rights to a lot of their IP to other companies before this.
Jesse, when I researched it though, it only said 2 IPs were sold when I was researching and looking for what was sold.
Yeah, but like Astra Smash and one other one, and
The Shark one or something.
Yeah, in Shark. Their 2 biggest IP.
Right.
Those
were the 2 that I
would
could find
argue.
that were sold. Yeah.
But yeah, and so I'd like to see Atari negotiate with, I forget the name of the company who has those rights
BG.
now.
BG something.
It was a 3-letter group, but
Okay.
that's to kind of get that back together. So yeah, while they have rights to over 200 titles now, but those are a lot of things that aren't really IPs. They're just baseball, football, soccer. Those one-word titles that
BBG.
they have the code to reproduce a cart if they want to sell it again, or put it out digitally along with an Intellivision emulator on Switch or something like that. But they wouldn't. This doesn't give them the right to make a new baseball game because a hell of a lot more licenses are needed for that.
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo says Pitfall, but no, that's an Activision game.
Well, there you go. Just some breaking news I want to throw at you guys right here, and I'm glad Justin's on tonight because these are numbers. Game Data Library, a user on X, has reported today some data from Famitsu, who is now reporting that Nintendo Switch has surpassed sales of the Nintendo DS in Japan.
Oh, okay.
Number 1 selling system there, right?
32,903,889 versus 32,878,490.
That's great. That's another good tip of the hat, right? For Nintendo, and continues to see that movement. Again, I think I said a couple weeks ago, Nintendo will pass the PlayStation 2. The projection should have them passing by the end of this fiscal. And we did have some clarification later that those numbers were not to be included the successor Switch. They're so close to that goal. Do you know what I mean? Like it's a little bit of a victory lap, I think, for the Nintendo Switch this coming year. And so we're gonna see these like records breaking of like, most sold in Japan and all these sort of things. So not a huge shock. I'm excited to see it continue to go.
What I want to see is because of the numbers and because of the way the industry is right now, there should not be any excuse from any company, even though I'm sure there will be, why they can't develop for Nintendo's consoles.
Yeah, I do think I do think maybe that's also one of the reasons why they purchased Shiver, is because they are anticipating a large input or desire to now be on the console that they did not see originally, sort of a preemptive response, right? And so hey, you can either go to a porting house who's not in-house, such as Panic Button, or you can use our own, but more avenues to get content onto the Switch. So that may be also one of the reasons for the acquisition, is sort of preempting a doorbell knock, sort of saying like, hey. And I do think it's sort of, we're at a place, I think a lot of games, I saw recently Crow Country. It's like a Resident Evil game, just came out in
Crow Country. Yeah, my buddy Parker was playing that.
Yeah, looks really good. And I was like, it's got to be on the Switch, right? Nope, not. And I was like, what? Why is this not? Right? Because like it's sort of like everything comes to the Switch. And again, when you have an installation base as high as it is, why would you not?
And there's also something else I've learned that's frustrating, is that some games that we have received on the Switch are not receiving DLCs that the other consoles are getting.
Yeah,
which is very mind-boggling. What's that?
Who is that recently? You were upset about that one. What game was that?
I can't remember the last time, but there was more recent.
SteamWorld Heist.
SteamWorld, and also Bolt Gun, the Warhammer game, is getting new DLC for all the other systems but Switch. And it was like, why not?
Madden is still
and it's-
not
You
on
already
the
have the
Switch.
assets there. Did it not sell
Yeah,
well?
and it's sort
I
of
don't know.
interesting. Like we also saw Biomutant released earlier this month, and the Biomutant publisher responded out saying they have sold more copies on the Nintendo Switch than they were anticipating. They were sort of shocked by that. And I'm
The
like,
Switch
and
effect.
this game is a year old.
Yeah.
Right,
Like,
yeah, because it was supposed to come out last year.
Again, you have so many, and I don't want to get in my soapbox, but I'm gonna for a second.
It's
Right?
out.
It's a
This
small
is
box.
sort of why I'm frustrated with Hi-Fi Rush not coming to the Nintendo Switch. You talk about sales, you talk about a game that would fit naturally on the Switch, that's a logical fit, and has you have an installation base of over 145 million units. Come on, you're not even giving it a chance. Like, I would love to know what were the numbers for Pentiment, and I'd love to know what the numbers were.
Let's shutter the
Grounded.
studio and instead.
Yeah,
that makes sense,
right? Like, could you not have at least put it on the Switch first and then shuttered? By the way, you might have actually got enough money that you didn't have to shutter fully.
Right.
I digress.
It is very mind-boggling in situations, and especially coming into where we're getting ready for the successor. Like, where are these companies' minds going to be now? That obviously the Switch, there's probably numbers that will show the Switch successor won't do as well as the current Switch. We've already talked about that before, but it still should do gangbusters if it's just building on what it already has. So, well, why not bring your game over?
You actively saw and you actively had comments from, I'm pretty sure it was Bobby Kotick at the time before the Activision Blizzard acquisition was completed, that he's like, we missed the boat.
Yeah,
we should have been there.
Even said it too.
Yeah, I think EA said too. Like, and their stockholders were in their quarterly earnings call saying, why are these games not on the Switch?
Yeah,
right. Yeah. And so I think a lot of them are now sort of kicking themselves and realizing that we need to. I think the other reality of it is, and we're seeing this now. So we are beginning to transition to a world where console exclusives are not necessarily happening as much anymore, right? Companies such, when you look at a game, and again, I want to think, you think about this. Let's look at a company like Sony, right? They've developed this, they've put 5-6 years in these massive titles, right? They finally release them. Your target audience is only so far, which is whoever owns a SonyBox, right? A SonyBox, PlayStation. That's what it's called.
I like SonyBox.
Right? That may be the title. SonyBox. A PlayStation.
SonyBox 720.
Amazingly enough, what happens when you can put it on all these other consoles, right? The ubiquitousness of where you can access your games now becomes different. And this is sort of the crutch that Xbox is in right now. This is the identity problem that Xbox has. Are we a publisher? Are we a developer? What strategy are we trying to deploy? Because we need to build more revenue. And again, I think in 5 years from now, what platform you purchase and where you play the games is not going to matter as much. Nintendo will be the long hold off. They will never change their modality. They will never ever change that. Mario will be on Nintendo until like Nintendo is dead. It ain't going anywhere. But I think when you think of The Last of Us, Helldivers, when you think of Gears, Halo, these are companies, and I think Microsoft has their back to the wall now, where they have to say, we have to go where the people are, and they're not here, right? And that's really what they have to do. They have to transition over to saying, I need my games out on these places where games are actually being played, and I'm generating and actually making money. And I think that's what's going to change.
Justin is the songbird of our generation.
We need. Can we clip that out? Where's our social media guy?
Give me the time. I'll give me the timestamp right now.
Go ahead, Casey.
Go ahead, Casey. No, you go ahead, Casey.
I've been pretty quiet. I'm going to get on my soapbox. I've been saying this for a long time. We're going to move to apps. It's going to be app gaming. Nintendo will be an app in like the next 15 years. Everyone's doing it because of Game Pass. Or Nintendo will still not placate, because that's like talking down. Nintendo will have a hardware niche. People will buy hardware if they want it. Nintendo is saying now with the Switch 2, your games will be able to move with you. We're finally keeping your online library because Steam.
Remember to use the pillar. They have a pillar. It'll be a pillar.
The pillar, yeah, the
Yeah,
pillar,
it'll
the
be a
online
pillar.
games are the pillar, right? Which is good. I'm glad I don't have to buy Earthbound for the 17th time, right? But I see with the future of apps and Game Pass, like people like Game Pass, right? You can try games. What hurts studios, like with Hi-Fi Rush, when you were talking about that, this got me thinking about that, right? And like everyone's up in arms about that studio getting shut down. We want games to do well. Indie companies will not, I don't think, will sign contracts with big companies to be part of them. They will put their games on them. But you hear with Square Enix going like, we're not doing exclusives anymore.
Yeah.
Unless it's the juice is worth the squeeze. Final Fantasy 16, Final Fantasy 7's whole series is a lot of money. They're putting a lot of money in that game, and it's people play it and it's great. Like I've not heard a bad thing about Final Fantasy 7 remake. It looks amazing. Or 16 was very good, and I'm a big JRPG guy. I love my Final Fantasies. I know Jesse does as well.
And because
But
it's so expensive to make those games, they'll sell 15 million.
Exactly.
And it doesn't meet expectations.
It doesn't meet expectations because it's only on one install.
Correct.
Where you put all this money, that is a small install. Where if it was on PC, Switch, or if it's on whatever, if you're an independent studio, you're not going to do exclusives anymore. That's why studios are getting bought now.
Yeah, 100%. Two
Go
things I want to add to that, Casey. One, just as a friendly reminder, after Square mentioned that they were deciding to not do exclusive deals anymore and go where the people are, Nintendo stock had a nice increase. PS, by the way,
didn't it go up three?
You're not
days straight
that some shareholder is not knocking on the president of Square's door and being like, sorry, so you can't get the Final Fantasy remaster, rebirth,
if Final Fantasy 7 remaster was on the Switch, you guys would have never seen me. I would be still playing it. Like it's not. And if I 60,
And Nintendo's like, do you see this company we just bought over here?
Yeah.
I bet you they could help you with that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like there's it is dynamically changing the way, like the next generation that we transition into, and obviously the Switch successor is ahead of where PlayStation is and where Xbox is in regards to their cycling, potentially, right? Although rumors are saying right now, I mean, and Xbox has been frank and already said they're, we're working on the most powerful, yada, 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 blah, 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 right? They always do. But like this next console generation, the back half of 2020s, it's going to be real interesting. It's going to be real interesting. But I also agree, Casey, this is where those small independent companies, this is where, Giant Bomb, not Giant Bomb, Super
Giant Games.
Thank you. I was like, Super Giant Bomb. That's not it.
Hades,
like they're like, we're gonna keep doing what we do because when we push these games out there, they do incredibly well. This is where small games are critical.
Mm-hmm. This is what kills small games, or like Yacht Club, right? Who makes Shovel Knight and Mina. You can't keep doing your thing. Don't become part of that studio in the buyout because it will kill your studio. There needs to be more indie studios that just put their games on everything. Yeah. Right. It sucks that a lot of people lost their jobs. I get that. And that's like the initial outrage is there. And the reaction needs to be, well, we know what game they're playing. This is what they're going to do. So this is how we shift and keep control of our companies and don't give the monopoly. I have a friend with the inner workings of Microsoft. He does a higher up. We'll talk off air about that. The big panic of a couple months ago was like, are they going to pull out the hardware? I guarantee in the next 4 years, there will not be a follow-up hardware, or they're just going to sell boxes that are PC boxes that run Game Pass.
Yep.
And Game Pass going into TVs. Like we said, the appless future, the cloud gaming, they're investing heavily in that, and they just want games. Right? As someone who's a Mac user, and there's always, Macs can't run. My Mac is very powerful. My Mac can run games. My Mac can do it. Companies don't want to deal with Apple's coding in the work, right? So Apple makes it a pain in the butt. We're getting to a point now where it's like, hey, why there's no excuse to get it there. So Square Enix will if they do exclusives, it's going to be a small team like Team Asano was with Bravely Default, and they've grown, or like a small company that they're building. Like, okay, try to make this indie game. If it sells 1 million copies, Octopath Traveler, which is my favorite Switch series, sold 1 million copies. Octopath Traveler 2 sold millions, and probably more through all consoles. Physical hardware in Japan, it sold 55,000 copies, I believe. and it sold over 1 million digitally and everything, right? Which is a success. I don't know the cost for Octopath Traveler 2, but I guarantee they made their money back, because if with all of its sales, I looked at it, it's like $12 million, right?
Yeah.
That's that. I would assume that got their money back for that game, if not and more. Yeah. And they'll make more. Team Asano's doing great.
But I mean, that's interesting, right? Because it's sort of like you have little development, right? That where they're making their money back, presumably well, right?
Yeah.
And then you've got big ones that are not making their money back, so you're on a shortfall. Do you know what I mean? And you're like, even if I take a little bit of yours, I'm still on a shortfall, right? And to Jesse's point earlier, when games become as large, as big, and as bloated, and again, I'll use GTA 6 as an example. How long has GTA 6 been in production? How much money has already been sunk into that game that they need to recoup? Now, the nice part about it, GTA is a game that will sell copies. They will sell millions. They will make a lot of money. But but because of how long they have been cooking for, has that cost to recoup those losses become insurmountable? That's the question that you have to ask. The larger the development time, the larger the delays, the larger amount of money, the more photorealistic, all these things comes at a cost. And the cost ultimately ends up being the company and the employee.
With what I know about GTA Online and how much revenue that brings in, if GTA 6 just does more of the same, they'll be fine.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. But
GTA is going to be fine.
But that is a special case. Not every developer can assume that any game that they make like GTA will do the same.
Too big to fail.
Yes.
This is the American economy at its prime. It is too big to fail. Do you know what I mean? And ultimately, something happens. Look at Cyberpunk. Look at any of these big companies, right? Like, come on, folks.
I would make fun of Canada's economy, but I don't know what you guys do besides hockey and maple syrup. But all jokes aside, I think we're saying the same thing that the big title games, you can't put your eggs in one basket anymore, especially because we all know PC is the dominant, right? Like the joke, PC master race, right? Like I even hear as a teacher, like kids will be like, "Oh, you only play Switch," and they'll tell me that, and they're 10. That's still a thing from my childhood that 10-year-olds still say today, right? Oh. Like Ghost of Tsushima is gonna be on PC here, and people are gonna go nuts for that game. That game's awesome.
Unless you're in one of the 177 countries that you cannot generate a PSN account.
Oh, that's right. Yes, that
because
whole thing, that's a mess too.
Steam has those countries blocked. And that is not a Steam decision. That is a Sony decision.
It's a Sony decision, right? Sony's going to have to make something like with Helldivers, and they made that right. Obviously, there's going to be a learning curve with this, right? You know?
Justin, I just want to ask you, do you see what you've done here? You see, we were talking about Nintendo DS, and now we're talking about Cyberpunk and GTA.
This is like, listen, I've said it before. As a pundit of the industry, you need to know the industry holistically, not just our lane, right? And to be able to have healthy conversation. Listen, in a little bit from now, we're going to be like, guess who's amazing? It's me, Mario, right? And then we're going to go back to the Nintendo stuff. Sure. But also, there's not a lot of Nintendo news. So we're going to pad the library a bit.
Nintendo's eating good, right? Like Nintendo's in a great spot. Yeah. But gaming as a whole is in a very weird spot.
But did you
see
there's
these shifts?
Yeah, did you see though, Marty? I connected it back to story number 1 with the Shiver content, right? And did you see how it was like that was pretty cool.
I'm just saying it's my job here to kind of be those, like, you know, when you go swimming at the lake and there's those buoys that float out there. That's me.
You're good. Yeah, that's me. You're fine. I'm gonna hand it back to you. You're good.
You're good. It's good. It's just I inevitably someone will say, well, that none of this has to do with Nintendo.
But you know what does have to do with Nintendo? Jobs, because Nintendo's doing well and people can get jobs. And I hear there's some interesting news about that, Marty.
That's what we call in the industry a segue.
That is correct. And not one you drive off a cliff on after you buy the company. Nintendo has recently posted a job opening that hints at the future of packaging for their products They are now seeking a senior graphic designer with a knack for creative and high visibility design products or projects.
Yeah, not me.
Responsibilities include designing hardware bundles and packaging. Let's put a pin in that and come back to it in a minute because that's important. Suggesting a fresh approach to the packaging of future Nintendo products. Some believe this indicates Nintendo's intention to innovate its product packaging, aligning with industry trends towards sustainability and an enhanced unboxing experience, which, if you guys remember, the Switch box as it was originally is not what it was today. And they highlighted the fact that they wanted to make it more sustainable, more green, more eco-friendly.
Like the Xbox Series X, that box is kind of amazing.
Yep, it really is. I got to unbox one of those. It was pretty cool. The new hire could play a pivotal role in ensuring Nintendo remains prominent and innovative in both tech and entertainment sectors. What I think is really interesting about this job posting is not just that they're going to be designing boxes. I want you to notice this little detail that I said we're going to circle and come back to. Responsibilities include packaging and designing hardware bundles, which I would assume includes like holiday bundles. So this is someone who is now going to be...
Because the packaging has to be adjusted to fit the game contents.
Right. But what I'm saying is maybe we have somebody here who goes, you know what, guys? Maybe 2 warehouses of the Mark II Mario Kart 8 bundle is a bit much. Maybe we just fill one with this bundle.
Or someone goes...
Yeah, that could be. That could be.
Someone goes, hey, do we really need a package of digital code? It's a piece of paper. Like,
right?
You know?
Yeah, it could be.
You can make a really cool looking Super Switch, you know?
Yeah.
Like Switch 2.
I one of the things that I find here, you circled that. I'm circling the an enhanced unboxing experience.
Mm-hmm.
We know that Nintendo for a long time have aspired to and are very fan of the Apple motif, right? And how Apple does their things. And whenever you buy an iPhone or an Apple product, it is an unboxing experience, which gives it a premium feeling. And I think that's really what they're aiming for here is a little bit more of a experience and a premium experience when you do that unboxing, right? So also, like, as you open it up, what are the instructions like? Are there instructions that are simple to read? Are they complicated? Like, what is the intuitive design of the unboxing experience that allows you to experience
15 languages?
Yeah.
Right?
Can we agree that the unboxing experience for the Switch was a little underwhelming? Like, you just... The lid opens and you slide it out, and it's everything's individually wrapped, and it's...
I didn't care. I wanted to get that thing out of there, and
I did too.
Experience
if you're someone
Switch.
who, like Justin is saying, you want to add a little value to the product, or maybe value is the wrong word. You want to add a little prestige to the product.
I don't remember, but I think I might have done that unboxing video.
One of the interesting things when I think of this, like, enhanced unboxing, and I think of alignment of Apple, and I think of prestige, that also comes at a cost.
I have a question because you said alignment in D&D. What alignment is Apple? Is it chaotic neutral? Is it lawful good? Like, if you think of that chart, where do you put Apple in there? Right? Nintendo is definitely chaotic good.
Yeah.
I think which company's evil?
Oh, that's Microsoft.
There we go. Thank you. All right. We were all overthinking it.
Microsoft is chaotic evil.
Chaotic evil for sure.
Apple's
Sony
chaotic neutral.
Yeah, I think Sony's true neutral. Right? Just in the middle. Yep. And then Atari is
I would say
evil.
I don't know. They're the ones that's doing the Nintendo 80s style censorship in modern day.
Yeah.
So they think they're good, but are they?
No. Stadia is the most chaotic from Nintendo.
Change in perception.
Yes.
So what you're saying is that with that censorship, they're the Brotherhood of Steel.
Oh, Fallout. Nice.
We look good on the surface, but really we're working for nefarious and dark purposes.
I think with the hiring thing,
we've lost Justin, by the way, on this.
No, I saw he's like
his eyes glazed over.
Glazed over. The new hire, I'm curious if it's a market. Is it really a marketing role or is it a graphic designer role? Because it kind of blends the two. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, this would be part of a customer experience team.
You think that's where it would fall into?
100%.
So, okay, this is the thing with like Nintendo stuff, because I remember when I was trying to go back to school and my wife was looking for me to work, she's like, "Hey, you work at the warehouse there." And I thought about it, like, what kind of degree? Do you get a graphic design degree? Do you have a marketing degree? Like, how do you apply for this job? What is Nintendo looking for? Because I think they're looking for a lot of different type of people, and I'll be curious to see that personally.
That's a good question.
Because like for kids out there, like you want to go, like I want to work at Nintendo, you want to make video, but there's other options. Yeah.
The one thing that, if you've looked at Nintendo's marketing over the last 7 years, it has been very focused on showing people using the product.
Yes.
It's all
on rooftops at parties.
Well, whether it's print or video, it's been all about experience.
Even going back to the Wii era, they didn't show the system or games, they showed the people playing them.
It's all about how it integrates into your life everywhere that you are in your life. That's their journey. That's their marketing with the Switch, right? And you see that continued now too, of like the dad who comes home and he sits down and he all of a sudden takes out his bag and he's playing it, right? Or they're on a plane. Like it is all about playing the games where you are.
Yeah.
And so so it's how it's integrated into your life.
And they can't pivot from that.
No, it's not about being in front of a television anymore. It's
about
it's about sharing the experience, which is critical for Nintendo. That couch co-op share experience, bringing people into an experience is critical for them.
They can't pivot from it, but they do need to freshen it up.
Yeah,
they do. I have an idea for this. They need to bring back the Nintendo Power line. In that you get customer service, you get people talking to you about the game. You get a friend, you get stuck. I know everybody uses the internet, but just make a line. Like hire a couple people to talk about a game. Like that was one of the coolest thing about Nintendo. Like I'm stuck.
I think they should
Go ahead, Tim. Called it as a kid?
No, sorry. I was just putting my hand up to answer the question you had earlier, Casey. What you would have to have for this position.
Oh, okay. Let's hear it.
So this position is actually senior graphic designer. That's what they're calling the title. And of course, those duties we mentioned, but summary of requirements is 8 to 10 years of related experience in fast-paced graphic design and production environment. Macintosh skills, strong attention to deadlines and schedules, ability to create marketing campaigns, ability to draw and illustrate, ability to create print-ready production files, ability to perform digital color correction, editing, blah, blah, blah. Treat everyone with respect and kindness.
That's sad that you have to say that. But also I'm here for it. I like it. Like we're nice to people here.
Yep, those are the requirements. And then of course there's all those duties they have.
I want to go back to Casey's idea for a second.
Oh, the Nintendo line, you like it? Okay.
I love it. I actually think here's what they should do. And listen, Dougie boy, listen, I know you're listening. All right. We got some friends over there in Nintendo.
Yeah.
All right. Here's what you do. It is a pop-up experience. All right.
Yeah.
So what you do, it's a pop-up experience for a limited time for like, you think of a game that's coming out. And I was almost thinking it'd be like the NES, like the World Championships. And you open up a call-in line that people have to call and get video like support, but you just do it for like a couple of like a weekend just to kind of have that experience again.
You do it whenever there's a new game.
Yeah.
That's hey, the line's open this weekend, and you actually do it on YouTube. You go to your YouTube channel, and it's live calls. So there's a call center, and sometimes your call's live, right?
Yeah.
And they have to be able to edit it on the fly. It's a big production, but oh man, that'd be so cool. You can do it on Twitch. You can do it on a lot of things.
Yeah. This idea has been trademarked by Nintendo Dads.
Yes.
Copyright.
Hey, cut the vid. Cut the vid.
We can't have it. You can't have it. It's ours. Here's a couple other little tidbits in our news before we wrap up. Data miners already got their hands on Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door and have already stripped
speaking of
data
secrets,
mines,
right?
everything from it, including a surprising bit of code for handling 4K resolution in the game. Why would that be there?
Marty, you had an interesting tweet the other day. I loved reading your tweets, and it was this
Says
little like
no one
pithy line.
ever.
Hey, I said it. Hey, Marty. I'm #1 Marty fan here.
He's
I
just
want
bitter
everyone to
that
know
I tried to rein him in earlier.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be a wrecking ball now.
The frame rate argument. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Like, if you care about frame rate and it's really bothersome to you, like I don't. You need to get new friends.
Yeah, I saw this the other day that like people with the Square Enix thing, and this is kind of calling back to our discussion just a minute ago, that people were saying that because Square Enix was saying like we're going to have to reevaluate how we do things for AAA titles in the future, basically that opens the door to them being on more consoles. They're like it led to this whole like I saw a slew of posts on X about how the console wars are dead. The console wars are dead now. What was it like when you lived during the console wars and blah, 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 and all this stuff about how there's going to be this shiny, happy new world now that one company has said, hey, we need to rethink things. But it kind of made me think about this, that the really for the majority of people now, it's not a console war, it's a spec war. And it's the battle of every game that comes out technically gets picked apart to the point of not like you can't have fun with this if it's not 4K and 60 frames per second and ray traced and blah 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 blah. Why does a game about paper have to be 60 frames per second?
It doesn't. Here's the thing. You know when the console wars were cool? When you were 10 and you argued at recess about the better game. When grown-ups do it, it's not great. It's kind of embarrassing. It's like, hey man, hey, can I talk to you? Can we take a walk? Like we need to reevaluate some things.
I remember Atari versus Intellivision arguments.
Right. And how old were you? What grade were you in when that was happening?
Like second grade.
Last week. Second grade. Like I have great memories of that too, like Sega fanboys, and Nintendo. And again, like this was a running joke. My dad working for Nintendo, I obviously had bias, right? And EA, those kind of things. But like, yeah, like who cares? Like a good game, like that. What's the game that just came out from the donkey that everyone was playing? Animal Well. That's an 8-bit game that people are loving. No one cares about frame rate. Frame rate does not make or break a game. A good game
but just remember,
game.
We don't need 100 more games like Animal Well. We need variety.
Variety.
That's why it's working.
Games that are done well. Right.
Listen, you know what? Right? Back in the NES days, Flicker was a feature. You used it like a cheat code, right? Yeah. I mean, it's like, oh, it's Flicker, and they can't hit you.
Right.
Like that didn't
matter.
Like
the glitch feature in Wreck-It Ralph, right?
Yeah, I mean, like slowdown meant that you had more time to adjust.
A lot of times I look at games and I think it's like, it's like Celeste. And I hate doing that. It's human nature to go like, it's like this thing that I've done. And it can be very different. But like, there's Celeste clones out there, right? Like everyone, or you could even go back and, Celeste copies Super Meat Boy, right? We could say that. Yeah, Paper Mario's great. I want more people to play Paper Mario. Or if you like paper, like Super Mario or Origami, I can't even think of the name. Origami King. Was that what it's called? Which was a cute game. That's my son's first introduction to it, and he loves it. It's not even the best Paper Mario, right? Like it's a good game. The Thousand Years Door is a much better Paper Mario, and I'm very excited for my son to play that.
And I think it's like what it comes down to is if the worrying about the specs of it keep you from enjoying what the game, like actually playing the game.
Yeah.
Then like that's an issue.
That's a you issue.
That should not be the focus of a conversation for the game is that. I mean, obviously, if it's bad visuals, you're not going to play regardless of what
But there was a time where I couldn't tell the difference between 30 and 60 frames. But as sometimes I'm starting to tell. Like
sometimes.
Like the Persona 5 Strikers, I played on the Switch. My son played it on PlayStation. And just the running animation, you can tell. But still, that did not break the experience for me. I still fully enjoyed playing it on the Switch.
Jesse, you're really good about that. Do you think when you dock it versus playing it handheld, it makes a difference too on that? Like, I don't know if it's like mental or if it's real there where it can run on the TV. It just doesn't seem as chunky.
I think it depends on the game. I don't play handheld much, so I can't compare myself.
Yeah, that's
but
right.
I have heard some games play better handheld. I have heard some games
interesting.
play better docked.
Yeah.
So I play a lot of handheld and then play mostly on docked because I'm doing a first look or, let's play or whatever. So my experiences between those two views in most of these games, I don't notice a difference. So
yeah.
And also too, because you have a smaller screen also helps that it's not that big of a difference.
Can I tell you the only game right now that I notice a difference in, and maybe it's just not being trained, that my eyes aren't trained or my eyes are bad or whatever. I don't know. The only game that I can tell a difference that frame rate actually affects is Fortnite.
Yes.
Interesting.
Because
is it better on TV or
I can't play it on the Switch anymore.
No, there is a huge difference in Fortnite between the Switch and the other consoles.
That is one.
Doesn't matter if it's docked or not.
That is very much showing that it needs some help. Like it needs Switch to.
I do not. My
Fortnite's gotten stronger.
Yeah, my Xbox is solely my online shooter battle royale game system platform.
Yeah.
Okay, how does Fortnite run on a phone? Let me ask that.
I don't even bother. I'm not like.
Okay.
Why would I put my head in the grinder and turn the? I don't understand why I would do this. Like, it's just...
Some of us like to be just even in pain.
Yeah.
I think the debate too, like Jesse said, like sometimes I'm gonna talk about it later. Eiyuden Chronicles that came out, or the 100 Heroes game. Like when a game runs poorly, and we did the first look here, that's different than like a frame rate thing. For me, it's like, hey, this is noticeably affecting the game time and the flow of the game. Like, I think of things of rhythm, right?
It's got to be consistent. The frame rates have to be consistent,
right?
Don't put it at 60 if it's just going to fluctuate back down to 30 every now and then.
Right, and that's the reason why 30 locked is common.
Yes.
And looking back at
I'd rather
Princess
have no
Peach
load screens and be 30 the whole time.
Right. Okay, speaking of load times, looking at Princess Peach Showtime, the gameplay is good. It's fixed. But whenever there's loading, the loading screens or just fixed animations, they chug because the programmers are putting a priority on loading to make it load as fast as possible. They are sacrificing frames, and it is distracting as hell, even though it doesn't change gameplay.
It's not even part of the gameplay, yeah.
Right, but it is really distracting, and I probably would have been okay if they said, let me load this 2 seconds longer, make the curtain look nice.
Let it flow in the wind. And something I want to point out here in the community real quick in the chat, Beer says I only play Fortnite on Switch. And I wanted to say real quick is I only played Fortnite on Switch too. Switch is also, I should say. And it was fine when that was the only Fortnite experience I had. When I went to PlayStation to play it there, and I couldn't go back. And I think that's what Marty, you were saying too, is like once you have the ability to go play it somewhere else that has.
And to me, it's not about the like the way it looks. It's the overall experience.
It's the overall experience for sure.
You can tell after you've played it on Xbox or PlayStation, you could tell the jumpiness of the Switch, and it actually affects your aiming. So there's a choppiness to it that makes it hard for me to go back to it. I have played it on Switch this season, but I think that the longer we linger on the regular Switch, right, the more we're going to see the limitations of it because
when you did that last run, Marty,
they're not worried about compressing anything on Switch. They're just trying to get it on there and make money.
When you did that last run with Darth Vader, when you were playing Sunday, you were playing on the Switch. Now that you have faster internet, Did you notice that choppiness still?
Yes,
Still
I
did?
did.
Okay.
But I mean, and it's mainly about, and it's like, I don't know any other way to describe it than how it feels in the hand. Like just the way the camera scrolls,
Yeah.
the pans,
Okay.
it
That's
just
fair.
feels weird. And it's not like a difference in controller. I, that's the only way I know to describe it. So,
Okay.
the 4K, a lot of people think this 4K thing in Paper Mario is hinting at that there is some kind of like bump up for Switch 2, that this is like the smoking gun or whatever, that older games are going to get a bump when you play them on the new unit or whatever. I don't know. I just think it's
That's the
interesting.
hope, at least.
Yeah, that's the hope. I just think it's interesting that there's code for 4K in there and Switch can't do 4K. Why would it be there? So,
Because when it runs on the Switch 2, right?
yeah. Yeah. We'll see. Well, I mean, we're going to know. We're going to know within a year. So,
Yes,
probably.
but not in June.
No, we already know that. We won't
No,
know
not
this
in June.
year. We
Not
won't
in
know
June.
this year.
So let's round out our news here with some release news and updates. Out now today. We've already talked about this. Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. It's out. It's great. We'll talk about it a little bit more when what we've been playing. But that's out today. Also, it's not in this list, but I want to point this out because I don't want this game to get buried. Duck Detective: The Secret Salami is out today as well, and
That does look fun.
it looks very fun. It looks really unique and fresh, and I'm wanting to check that one out on Switch. That came out today. Also, Picross S Namco Legendary Edition is out soon on Nintendo Switch. That's out on May 30th. The pre-order's up now. Demo is available as well if you'd like to try that. Umbra Claw is coming to Nintendo Switch May 30th. There's a pre-order for that. And then just throwing this out here, if you pre-order the Super Monkey Ball Banana Rumble game that's coming out on June 25th, you get a Shinobi costume if you'll sign up for Sega's email newsletter.
Yeah, actually, you don't have to do a pre-order.
You
All
don't
you
have
got
to
to
do a
do is
pre-order.
go
That's right. Sorry, I
Sega's
read
email.
that wrong. Yeah. So if you've signed up for Sega's email newsletter for that game, not just their general one, but for that game, you'll get a Shinobi costume in game, that's interesting for Super Monkey Ball. Anyway, that's our news for the week. Let's stop right here for an ad break from our good friends over at Manscaped.
Hey, folks, supporting Nintendo Dads is brought to you by Manscaped. Fellas, blink if you haven't purchased a Father's Day gift quite yet. Yeah, we thought so. Definitely have not either. So today's episode is brought to you by Manscaped, the leader in below-the-waist grooming. And maybe your pops has had a bush since the 70s, and that's okay. Well, our friends over at Manscaped have crafted the total package for his special day. Whether it's for the boys downstairs, his beard, or even the best pair of underwear out there, Manscaped has his bases covered. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to head over to manscaped.com and use that promo code NINDADS, NINDADS, for 20% and free shipping. Go from daddy to zaddy with trusted Manscaped. And hey, listen, we're a bunch of dads and we use these products. I'm going to tell you right now, if I got Manscaped as a Father's Day present from anyone, yes, thank you. Again, whether it's for your beard, whether it's for your balls, whether it's a great pair of underwear, a good deodorant, a good body wash, a good scrub, Manscaped has you covered. So don't be sweating. Don't be like, what does dad need? What do I need to do? Just go over to the keyboard, smash your fingers into it until you hit manscaped.com. Go check out some items. And then when you do it, use that promo code NINDADS, NINDADS, for 20% off and free shipping. It's that simple. Do it now so you don't forget it. Literally pause the show, go do it, and then come back. That's what you should do. Big thanks to Manscaped for their continued support of Nintendo Dads. Back to you.
I just want to say you're a zaddy.
I know I am. Of course I am. Have you seen
Yeah,
this?
I don't know what that is, but you're one of them.
I think it's a good thing. Do you guys want to do a quick Google
I
search
think
for
we
what
both
zaddy
have
is?
teenagers by that conversation.
I don't think that you want to do a Google search for zaddy. No, I don't.
Probably not. That's a good point. It's a good point.
So a zaddy is a sexually attractive man, especially an older one who's fashionable or charismatic.
Interesting.
So you are zaddy.
Can I sort of
Oh,
speak?
I was gonna say, so none of us. So
Hey, whoa!
I'm gonna. Sorry, while we're
Speak
sort of
for
on
yourself.
this sort of topic, right? Sexually attractive, right? Parents. Hold on a second. Today I parked my car. There's a car parked in front of me, right? And I'm kind of sitting there and I'm waiting for my wife to get in the car, and I'm looking at it, and the left hand, it has a bumper sticker, and the bumper sticker reads, "Milfin ain't easy." Milfin ain't easy. And I was like, I have no words for this. Like,
so let me I'm not trying to one up you here, but just let me tell you my story about a sticker like that. Nothing beats walking out of your church and seeing one of your students get into his SUV, and across the back window it says MILF Mobile.
wow.
Wow, I like it.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I mean, that's
if we're having a MILF conversation, so in college I was in a fraternity. They're called Phi Gamma Deltas. They're Fijis. It's a very big fraternity. There's something at Washington State University that now it's called Parents Weekend. There's two of them, but it used to be Dad's Weekend and Mom's Weekend. They were separate because they did. Now it's more inclusive because not everybody has a dad, right? Anyway, Mom's Weekend is notoriously in the spring, very wild weekend. Moms like to get crazy. So we made a shirt when you'd make shirts to like booster the fraternity, and it said, "Moms instinctively love Fijis." And we sold so many of these damn shirts. It was great. Like it covered stuff. It's one of my favorite shirts. I'd love to get it back. Moms instinctively love Fijis. The moms all loved it. Moms were there to have a good time. The biggest other rumor at Washington State, I'll actually wait because I don't know if it's super PC to say this.
After show.
Yeah. So let's dive into our question of the week, and the question this
which is
week
not MILF related, by the way.
No, it's not.
But it could be.
It could be.
Why not? Yeah,
it could be.
I'm gonna bring it back to MILF somehow.
This is inspired by the release of Paper Mario on the Switch this week. Here's the question. If you had infinite time and resources, what is the one game you would remake and port to the Switch 2?
Chrono Trigger in a heartbeat.
Yeah, okay.
What
is that, or Final Fantasy 6?
Would it be 3D, 2.5D, HD? I
would do a 2.5D with watercolor, right? So you still have the pixel art, but watercolor backgrounds, kind of like Chrono Cross. I would do a high-level orchestra, like Octopath, that changes with depending on where you're at. I would add a couple other mechanics, and then I would do some type of big tribute to Akira Toriyama.
That orchestra can change voices depending on who's in your party.
Exactly. Like if the robot's in the party, it's a techno beat, right? If
I like that.
If it's Frog, it's classical.
Tim Cook, I like this.
Hey, cut this. We're saying it because that's the big rumor, right? That a Chrono Trigger remake is coming. So in time, and Final Fantasy 9, but that's been in the rumor.
I hope they don't.
For a while.
Midori said this week that the Final Fantasy 9 remake is real, but Final Fantasy 10 is not.
Yeah, good. It's Final Fantasy 10 remake. The only thing that's good in Final Fantasy 10 is Blitzball, and they just need to make a Blitzball game.
I'm sorry. Mark this down. Timestamp this. Casey is not allowed on the show anymore.
What? No.
Don't you on Final Fantasy 10? Don't you do
10's
it?
good. But Blitzball is the best part, and you can't tell me Blitzball is not the best minigame.
Actually, I did not spend any time on Blitzball. I was more concerned about being sure that Titus was okay. I had to finish the story. Anyway, so before we get the rest of our answers, let's go to some answers here from our community. Zablanc says Nintendo Land. That game was a blast to play with the family. It would make a great game to play in wireless mode on multiple Switches. Simon Hawkins agrees. He says, I forgot about Nintendo Land. That game was so much fun. To add to that, Simon says, I'd love to see an ultra-realistic modern version of Ocarina of Time. I think it would be great. Darth Platypus said, I'd second an updated Ocarina of Time. Would love to see that game brought forward. Mecca says, I want Pokken Tournament to come back. I miss that game, man. Who didn't want a Pokemon fighting game like that? Jamie says, Xenoblade Chronicles X. It's the only game in the series to not be on the Switch family of systems. Was my favorite game on Wii U, even though I never finished it after 2 playthroughs of 70 hours each. Bringing it to a hybrid system would finally give me the opportunity to play through to the end of the game. To which Solo said, I can hear it singing Queens. I want to break free to the Wii U. Ninja Lunchbox 79 says, Justin, this is right up your alley. Titanfall 2. It's about time a Nintendo console gets a proper FPS multiplayer game.
Yep.
All of
Titanfall's
those
great.
Fantastic answers. What about you guys? Casey, you've already shared yours. Like, you were right off the gate, man. You're like Chrono Trigger, bang.
Well, first, before he answers, I want to take a shot back to Ninja Lunchbox for a moment. A proper FPS multiplayer game?
Other than Splatoon?
Well, I guess it's not FPS.
Or I guess that's third.
And I guess it's not multiplayer. I was thinking Metroid Prime too, but
does Overwatch
but that's not
count
multiplayer.
for that? Does Apex not count for that?
Those are all third person, I think, not first person.
No.
Overwatch is first player.
Overwatch and
First-
Apex
first-
are first.
first-
Overwatch is first person for sure.
Yeah.
It's been a long time for.
I thought that we're all behind the person.
third person is behind.
Yeah, I thought Overwatch and
No, Overwatch is.
okay.
Yeah,
I
Overwatch is
think
first.
maybe is the thinking there is that a proper FPS is like deathmatch first and foremost, like Halo.
Or does he mean like single player first person multiplayer?
Yeah,
well,
not
well, that's
squad-based.
multiplayer. He said multiplayer. Titanfall 2 isn't necessarily. I don't know. Never mind. I'm just trying to figure out
I
what.
don't know. They're all games I don't play anyway,
fine.
so I don't care.
It's fine.
I thought there was more FPSs out there, multiplayer ones that were,
Yeah.
pretty good on Switch. So, but yeah, I
Okay.
agree. Titanfall 2 needs to come to the Switch.
Yeah.
2.
That'd be awesome.
Good deal.
Zelda 2.
Go ahead.
Uh,
Zelda 2 is a good one.
Zelda 2, nice. I'm gonna tell you, and I have to say it. NHL 94.
Yes.
NHL 94.
Yep.
Is that your serious answer?
My serious answer is actually Casey's answer. All
Thank
of
you.
that for Chrono Trigger. Yes, please. Yes, please. Yes, please. Yeah, no, it's good.
I like Nintrendo's one, and that's the Conduit. I've been asking for that one for a while.
That's an interesting one.
Oh,
I
I have
wanna
one more.
remake
I have
that.
one more. I have
Yep.
one more. A new Blitz. The NFL Blitz.
Ooh, yes.
With the current NFL roster. That
Yes,
would be my
please.
other top. If you listen to the pregame show, I talk a lot about football, but that's.
Did you play Wild Card? The Wild Card football game?
Tell me about Wild Card, please.
Oh, we'll talk
Because I've
about
been
post
playing
show.
Retro Bowl, which is.
Basically,
I'm
Tecmo
a
Bowl?
defensive guy. It is, and it's cool, but you don't get to play defense. And I'm a defense guy. I played defense. growing
Look up
I like
Wild
defense.
Card, NFL football or Wild Card.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
look
going
it
to be quiet for a couple of minutes. I know Tim's doing that on purpose. So
Oh,
So
GX Helldivers 2. Yeah, I'd like to see that.
oh, that's a good choice.
For democracy.
my answer for this would be, I know Jesse said Zelda 2. I would love a remake of either the original Legend of Zelda or A Link to the Past, done with modern lighting, updated mechanics, map system, all that good stuff. Maybe add a extra dungeon like Link's Awakening did.
Ooh.
Add a second, side of the story or something. Or if you want to bring Link to the Past, combine it with A Link Between Worlds and make it one game.
Yeah.
And bring it to Switch too, because that's a gem right there that people now can't
Do
play.
Link to the Past, but in that claymation art style.
Yeah.
I'd buy that.
Yeah. Link's Awakening style. Yeah.
Guys,
Yeah.
we got to cut the feed. We're coming up with really good ideas.
Yeah.
Well, it just means Nintendo's gonna, do
Steal
not
at least
do it.
one. Right? Someday.
Yeah.
Trademark
they're gonna do
Nintendo
mine.
dads. Come at me, bro.
Yeah. We want to let you guys know ahead of time too about some discussions that are going to be coming up the next few weeks on the show. And these are going to actually replace our questions of the week over the next 3 weeks. So we'll use these as the basis for those questions. We want to hear your answers and we'll share those so you can be thinking about those. Actually, tonight will be the first one. We're going to be talking about our June Nintendo Direct predictions here. Well, I guess right now. And then next week, we'll be talking about our top 3 games of 2024 thus far. And then on episode 481 in 2 weeks, top 10 must play games for the Switch, not published or developed by Nintendo. So be thinking about those. We would love to hear your answers in the coming weeks. So, gentlemen, let's turn our attention to this June Direct. And it is not a rumor. It is not a spoiler. It was actually put out there by Nintendo itself within the last couple of weeks. There will be a June Nintendo Direct. And I want to hear your predictions. Justin actually is the one that came up with this topic. So let's talk about it a little bit. What do you think is going to happen in June? Just a couple weeks away.
Who wants to go first? Anyone? I've literally got a list of like what I think is going to be shown and what it's going to look like.
I'll go first.
Yeah, I
Tom,
don't
let's
have a
hear it,
list.
Marty.
I have maybe 2 or 3 things in my head.
Yeah, I've got a few things.
I got a list as well.
Also, I'd like for us to like clip this out as a predictions episode. Also, post afterwards as a separate.
Okay.
Standalone.
As like a short?
Yep.
We'll talk.
Separate
A
episode.
0.5 episode.
Yeah.
0.5 episode.
Yeah.
So
Gotcha.
here's my first prediction. Is that Metroid Prime 4 will be shown and given a release date at the June Direct.
I'm trying to be as nice as I can. I want that too, Marty. But we can't have nice things. So
So you're going to
Sorry.
counter predict, or is that going to be your
no,
first?
I go and I cross my head as a good Catholic boy and I say my prayers. I'm like, please let Nintendo do me right and give me Metroid Prime 4. And I'm just going to be disappointed because it'll probably be, I think, a Switch 2 release at this point. Like they've made such a big deal of it, they have to do it right. Or they could do like another Dread. They could do another like side Metroid and everyone would be happy because people like that. But if you're gonna do Prime 4 and you've made a big deal about like it's not right, I don't know if, or they do the thing where it's on. There's a Switch and Switch 2 version like they would do with like GameCube, the Zeldas basically at the end of their. Yeah, that's Marty's.
That's my one of my overall predictions for 2024. It will be the
tell
last
me
game.
more.
It'll be the last game on the Switch and the first game on Switch 2.
I like that. I think that's a good one.
But I
Unfortunately,
think
that's
we're
not going
getting
to
a
fall
release date.
within 2024 to get points. Unfortunately.
So I'm gonna give you my. So I guess are we kind of keeping score? Like are
Tim,
we?
if they say that it's going to be a dual release, then it does count.
That's correct. If they do,
I didn't mention release date in my overall prediction.
no. If they clearly define it in 2024, yes, that's of course point. But yes, the problem is that we don't know when the Switch is going to come out, and we don't know what they're going to say for Prime.
I'm going to give myself a point in 2025. If you want to, I'll just count it. Whatever my score is, I'm just going to put it in my mind as one more than that.
You got it.
So yeah, and Justin, to that answer, sure. I think why not?
I think we should definitely like keep score like we do our normal predictions.
Hey, let's do this. Can we up the ante a little bit?
I'm all in.
What
do you got?
Can we up the ante? Okay,
100%.
So what if there's a prize for the winner?
Okay, let's hear it.
Chicken wings.
Oh,
The best food ever. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Fair.
Chicken wings.
Chicken wings. Okay.
Is everybody
How many though? How many?
No, that'll be. I mean, like, well,
An undisclosed amount of chicken wings.
chicken
I
wings.
think 25 wings is the standard.
Nice. I like it.
How many
Okay.
people are you feeding?
I think 24
One?
for 24.
One? You guys, come on. How many of you can crush 25 wings? Raise your hand and be honest. Right? Yeah. Yeah.
I'm lucky if I
Jesse,
can
come
eat
on.
6. I don't
Okay.
I don't do wings
spicy.
often.
I'm not talking spicy. Okay.
I don't
Okay,
do
if we're
wings
gonna do
often.
our traditional thing,
So
then
4
we're
out
gonna
of
have
5.
to go down the line then, because so that way you can
Just-
properly document it.
Yeah, just
Okay.
so we know here, Mecca in the chat is advocating that one of us dies. He said loser has to shave their head off.
Off?
Shave their head off or hair off. That's Highlanders.
He said head. Loser
He did.
has to
He did.
shave their head off.
So
Beer
Okay,
Share
so go down the
Cerveza
list.
says,
We're going to enlist.
So Marty, you said
Wellness-
Metroid
go
Prime
ahead.
4 is announced.
Metroid Prime 4 is gets a release date and I'm gonna double down. I'm gonna go one. We're gonna see some of it. Let's see a little bit.
Well, yeah, if we get a release date, I would hope we get
Yeah.
a trailer.
One other thing on this, and I know we didn't talk about it ahead of time, but I know how Justin operates on this. Are we capping these at a certain number?
I've got a list of like 10 games I think are coming.
How about we all do 3?
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
3. Your top
All right.
3.
Justin, I would say 3 counts. How about
Okay,
that?
That's fair. I'm going to tell you that I believe Metroid Prime 4 will be there, and I believe it will be the one last thing. And I believe it's coming out in 2024, and I specifically believe it's October.
Wow. Whoa, hold up. Okay, you're gonna
How many
have to, like,
fractions of a point are you going for with this?
you're gonna have to go back there. Okay, so let's count this out. That it's going to
It's
be
5 months.
revealed at the direct.
Yep.
That it will be the one more thing.
2.
It will have an October release date, and
Right.
we will see a trailer.
4.
You
So,
put that
okay, he
under
has 4
mine instead of
predictions.
Justin's there, Tim.
That's what I
Hey, look-
believe.
We're keeping Tim busy tonight. Okay.
Casey, were you countering those 2 points?
No, I was counting. Like how many.
Well, because
predictions was in that
you
one.
were saying you wanted to be nice.
No, we can't have nice things. Sorry.
We can't have nice
with Tim.
things. Yeah.
I agree with Marty that it's it's going to be on these both things if it works out. I'm not in this game, but I'm a gambler, so I like to get into games. If you guys,
You're
want to
totally on this episode.
you're in, you're
totally
in.
this
You're
episode.
in this.
All right. Do I get to take my shot?
Yeah.
Right now?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, sure.
New Donkey Kong Country, right there.
You
It's
son
coming.
of a bitch. That's exactly what I had down too.
Usually Donkey Kong comes at the end of the life cycle. I've done this lately in the last few. It's time. We're ready. I'm ready for a Donkey Kong.
So-
I'm ready to have my heart broken.
Justin,
The
you're
ones
not
with
going to
Michael
count
Scott.
that as your 3?
I'm not going to count it as my 3
Okay.
because I want it to happen, but
Okay.
I don't know if it will. I don't
And
know.
I'll say this to Mecha Dragon: I'll buzz my head if there's no new Donkey Kong. I
Nice.
will make
Yeah.
it short. I will
Yeah.
trim this
I-
thing up.
I told him no matter what happens, I am not touching my hair.
I'm gonna touch my hair. Fight to the death. If there is a tie or the first to finish, Balan Wonder World.
Oh.
We all like each other. No, get out of here.
yeah,
and also,
yeah. That's,
if you eat wings, they got to be bone in.
How about
I
the
wanna go
exit
back to
8?
Beer Cerveza to that.
I'm not doing
Jesse,
that.
what did you have? What's your
Hey,
pick?
Jesse, what's your prediction?
My first pick is I want to pick the day that we'll see it. I'm going to say
Oh,
June 19th, the third Wednesday of the month.
Oh, Wednesday.
all right. I'll get in on that action.
Is that going to
I
be one of your
like
3?
that.
Yeah, my date will be one of those two.
Can I here's and Jesse, let the records be known that it's in the Nintendo Dad's lore record book now, so we can't erase it. Can I ask you why you're reasoning the 19th?
Yeah, me too.
Because last year's was the 21st, the third Wednesday.
Okay.
I do
see.
agree.
What about-
They're usually on a Tuesday, but June's just kind of a special little monster.
Okay. What about the year before that though?
I don't know.
The year before that, June is the.
That was the 15th. I think it was the year before.
Okay.
Well,
right.
hey, let him cook. Jesse may be on
Let him
something there.
cook.
I'm not saying he's
love
wrong.
it.
I'm
I
just
love
curious. I just wanted to understand how he got there.
Okay.
Again, I don't think he's wrong. I'm just curious.
Tim, let's get your first.
I'm just
prediction
asking
here.
questions.
Just
Um,
asking.
Sure. There's going to be a Tamagotchi life game.
Ooh.
Huh.
Ooh, I like that.
I'm just going to go all out and crazy on that. So
I like it. See, though you're playing to the end of life weird that Nintendo likes to do.
Yes,
And
exactly.
so I like that. So let me go ahead and drop bomb number 2 then for my second prediction, and that is going to be we will finally see Twilight Princess and Wind Waker ports.
I want you to be right. I'm open to that. I like that. I like hearing that. Wind Waker, especially. My action, by the way, for the dates, June 25th.
End of the month.
End of the month. It's also my anniversary.
So you're saying
betting
June
I'm betting
25th?
on my anniversary. Yes, sir. June 25th.
25th.
Just because it was a good day a couple years ago for me. Got married on that day. I'm hoping lightning strikes twice.
Okay.
Got it. That's
That
your
is not
second.
a head. That's not my head shape bet, by the way. I'm putting my chips in the basket on Donkey Kong.
All right.
Like,
June
that's me
25th
going
is
all
your
in.
second one. So Justin, what's your second?
We will have a new Mario Party game announced.
Damn it, you took mine. Yep, that was one of mine I wrote down too. New Mario Party game. Okay. Announced.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Thank you, Jesse.
Just because we want Twilight Princess and Wind Waker ports, we're probably not going to see it yet. But I think that we might have a different type of Zelda side game.
Oh, please be Zelda Dungeon Maker. Please be.
There's been that Zelda lead role game that's been rumored.
Beer Cerveza says, "How about a new Punch Out?" Yeah, we got that. It's called Arms, and you like it. Okay. Has everyone done their second one, Tim?
No,
Have you done your second
Tim.
one?
No,
Yeah. What's yours?
not yet. You still gotta wait till Marty does his third one.
Okay, but what's your second one, Tim?
Well, I had to ask just to clarify, Jesse, Zelda, you said Zelda game announcement, a different side game. Is that correct?
Yeah. So just something new that I don't know how to explain it. Just I don't think
Like
it'll
a
be
Zelda
like
side game.
I don't think it'll be like a 2D traditional 2D. I think it'll be something weird and different, like crossbow training.
Go ahead, Casey. What?
Jesse, would you take another Hyrule's Warrior game in that vein as well?
I would say that would count, yeah.
Okay, I think that's fair with Jesse's, but that's not mine. I like that. I like that bet.
I also had this
Zelda and Linkle Hyrule Detectives.
So that is actually one of my year
and
predictions.
Tingle's the villain.
That was one of my year predictions. Was a new Zelda game. It was that one where it was kind of complicated, where it was going to be either a port of something, a remake of something, or a collab of something. But it was going to be some new Zelda game, but that would come out. So, but
a Zelda announcement, I think that's a fair bet. Like,
yeah, it's basically that's what it comes down to. Is a Zelda game. It's not a 3D game. It's a 2D Zelda game.
Oh, okay.
That's where I think Jesse, you were going, right? Is it 2D Zelda game?
No, I was
thinking
something other than a 3D game or a traditional
3D
2D game.
Okay.
Yeah, just
Other than
something
an open
else.
world.
Just something else that's weird.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys took some of the ones I had here. So this was I think this was on my year one too. So I'm gonna throw it in here. A Mario sports game. Like basketball or baseball or even something like I would love to have see them
Football?
do as a American football game.
Yes. Also, that Wild Cards game reminds me of NFL Streets. I want to tell you, I'm gonna buy it like in the next 20 minutes here. Once we get off, that is gonna be a direct purchase.
Nice.
As soon as
So,
I saw
yeah,
Marshawn Lynch on the cover, I was like, yes.
Sweet. Yeah, so yeah, Beer says Mario Blitz. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Third and final prediction. Just these words: Super Smash Brothers Nintendo 64 NSO.
With online play, would you add that?
Well, yeah,
Well,
because
yeah,
it's baked
there-
into the
yeah.
emulator.
It's big. Yeah, so it has online.
Yep.
That'd be interesting. That'd be cool.
Cool. Casey, what's your number 3?
Okay. Dragon Quest 3 2.5 HD remake info release
Damn.
date.
You took one of my.
I'm the JRPG guy. I got to take it. You knew it was coming. Sorry. I took Donkey Kong and I took that. I'm not
Dragon
Donkey Kong
Quest
1, I
3.
put
Is
my
that what you
hair
said?
on.
The HD 2D.
Yeah, the
Okay.
Dragon Quest 3 2.5. We're gonna get some info
Yeah.
about that.
See, I'm hoping that we hear something from Square on May 30th when it's on their Dragon Quest Day announcements.
Yeah.
So we'll find out next week.
All right, Justin, number 3.
So I'm going to tell you. So I'll give you my third, and then after that, I'm going to give you wild cards, which are I want them on the record book because I think they're going to happen, but you only get 3. Right? So
Did you type this out?
No,
these
it's in my notes pad. So,
Okay. I was gonna say, can you copy and paste it into Discord, and I'll just paste your wild cards in there
I'm
after
not
you
that-
give
I'm
me
not
your
that-
third one.
I'm not that kind of guy.
Come on.
Silk Song will show up at Nintendo Direct or this Nintendo Direct.
It sucks going last, by the way. You guys keep taking
Hold
my
on.
stuff.
Hold on. 428. If this is wrong, I'm super cutting to you. A clown wig is coming on your head.
Sure. Yeah.
The nose.
Yep.
Okay.
I think Silk Song is where it shows up. I'm gonna give you my. Can I give you my or actually let everyone else go and then I'll give you my crazy ones after this.
Well,
These are
I'm
like
sure-
the super wilds. But
I have some other ones too, so
Okay, you go ahead, Tim.
we can all kind of go. If we got any others, we can go just kind of talk about it. All right, but I put down you got a wild card. All right, Jesse, what's your number 3?
Well, I think we're going to see some other old JRPG being ported. You know, something from the PS1 or Dreamcast era. I don't really care what it is. Just like, just something, an old JRPG coming back.
So it would be a remaster of it.
Not necessarily.
Mm.
Just
So like a alive type of thing, or like
to
an
think.
update.
I'm trying to think of the Dreamcast example that came out a few years ago. Darunia, maybe? Is that it? I don't know. But, it had a slight tweak, but not a lot.
Skies of Arcadia.
I'm not familiar with that game, but
Okay,
just-
an old JRPG game will be brought to the Switch.
yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, there's got to be a term for that. I can't remember. It's not remake, obviously, and it's not just a port because they have to do something to it, right? So I was just trying to think of. Nintendo says Breath of Fire, Lunar, Secret of Evermore.
Well, again, not
Yeah.
necessarily because
Great.
look at like Persona 4 Golden. That's basically the PSP game, or the PS Vita game ported. There
So
wasn't
it's
any
just ported.
enhancements.
Okay.
Yeah, the Persona 3 Portable was just the PSP game ported. So kind of that
Fair.
vein is what I was thinking. I'm not thinking of
Got
much
it.
of enhancements.
Okay.
Yeah.
But chat's blowing up. All right. I gotta figure out what my number 3 is because you guys took them all. Well, there's a few here, I guess. I'm gonna go with the other crazy one, which is a Kid Icarus Uprising port.
Ooh,
I like it.
I like that.
All right.
Yeah.
So,
I have one wild card.
all right,
And
cool.
it may not even be that much of a wild card, but my wild card is Pizza Tower comes to Nintendo Switch finally.
Hmm.
Pizza
Ooh,
Tower, nice.
I'm seeing a lot of that discourse of Pizza Tower on Twitter today.
Pizza Tower, nice. Did you have any wild cards, Casey?
I have one wild card because
Okay.
it's the only game I'm excited about. Not only game, that's a reach. Sorry, it's a game that I am excited about. This is the next one I'm focused on that I know that's coming out in 2024 in the current year. Rivals of Aether 2 release date. The Dan Forza, the platform fighter. Have you guys played Rivals of Aether at all?
No.
It's the best. It's the next best Smash game, to be honest. Platform fighter game.
Yeah, it is.
People love the multiverse one is pretty good from what I understand, and the Nickelodeon one
Mecha
is
Dragon
fairly
likes
good.
your pick there.
Good. I'm glad. Yeah. Oh god, I keep seeing Secret of Mana. No one wants Secret of Mana. Oh, that would have been a good pick. Secret of Mana, the new Secret of Mana coming to Switch, but I think that comes out to Switch 2.0.
Wasn't that garbage?
The Secret of Mana remake, yes, it was garbage.
Yeah.
But there's a new Secret of Mana coming out. Secret of Mana 4, or I guess it would be 4 or 5. They're coming to PS5. And people are really excited about that are in the JRPG. But my prediction, yeah, Visions of Mana. Thank you, Mecha Dragon.
Okay, yeah, I remember hearing about that.
So
we get
Rivals
a
2
release date.
Rivals 2 release date.
Yes,
Okay, got it.
because they've been vague on that on their
Jesse, did you have any wild cards?
No, I'm lucky I came up with the 3.
All right, Justin, go for it. What do you got?
Okay, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here are my wild cards. I do believe, just general statement, I do believe this direct will be more focused on bringing older ports over to it. So I do believe Wind Waker, we'll hear about that. I also do believe we will hear about a Metroid Prime that is not 4. But here are my kind of crazy out there thoughts. Sea of Thieves will be announced coming to Nintendo Switch. Hi-Fi Rush is coming to the Switch. Despite it being closed, Microsoft still owns the game. Possible.
He's gonna die on that one.
Hades 2 is announced for Switch for 2025. And we get our first look at COD coming to Nintendo Switch.
This on your tombstone, I'm gonna have Hi-Fi Rush is coming to Nintendo Switch engraved.
Listen, I recognize that as
Silk Song.
I recognize that one is a wide swing, but I don't know.
I almost said, here's what I almost said. Can I? And I'm not. Don't put this down for me, because we're done. We're over. It's fine. Except for Tim's wild cards. I almost said as a wild card that Nintendo is the publisher, like first party publishes Hi-Fi Rush on Nintendo Switch.
Okay, that would be interesting.
I could see that.
Like they rescue it.
Nice.
All right, but don't, like I said, don't put that one down.
I did not put that. All right, so
what about your wild cards?
There's still one on here that's also on my 2024 predictions, because I always had to do it. And this is the last year I was going to make this prediction. Nintendogs. We're gonna get Nintendogs. That's
a hill you will not die on, hey?
Well, this year is my last year.
Nintendogs.
I'm gonna try to ask for that one, but yeah, Nintendogs is a wild card. again, kind of like what Jesse was saying, but with the Zelda game, but a Zelda something like in my predictions. We're going to get kind of along the lines of the Wind Waker and things like that, but there's a possibility it could be a remake because I was hoping for a Four Swords type of thing, or even a possible collab with a third party to do a Zelda game. So that was kind of throwing that out there. I'm not going to put it down because Jesse's already got that covered. I had Dread.
Nintendo says another Picross, and I'm like, we already have one coming out next week.
Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D also was on my list. I also had Metroid Prime 4 trailer being with the announcement and all that, and we get announcement of the Metroid Prime 2 remaster as well. I have that in there, but you guys got that covered. The other one I have is Fire Emblem. A game will be announced. Always got to have a Fire Emblem. We haven't had one in a while. I know there's a remaster been rumored before.
We've had 3 Fire Emblems on Switch. No, 4 if you count the NES port. No more Fire Emblem.
Yep, then we got to have one more on the way out.
Yeah, like my prediction from last year when I thought the Super Nintendo one was going to get ported, or remade.
Yep. Also, I have on here a port of, and I think somebody in the chat mentioned this, Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Mm-hmm.
Was going to be announced because that developer has been quiet.
Monolith, yeah, they have been quiet.
And a new Sonic game.
Oh, yeah, I would play a new Sonic game. Can we just get Sonic Mania 2? Can we just can it just be that?
Sure, I'll do that. New Sonic
Let that
Mania
guy just make
2 game. There, I'll update my prediction to that.
You don't have to do that. I'm just saying that's what I would like. Just let him make Sonic Mania games until he dies.
That'd be awesome.
Die. That All right, those are good lists. We'll see how right we are, and there will be chicken wings in it for the winner. That'll be good. Be good stuff because I can't wait to eat chicken wings. Justin laughed because he knows.
Well, actually, so we're using the same pointing system as we do predictions for this?
Yep. Sure.
Okay. Sure. All right.
We'll do that. Well, guys, let's take a minute before we talk about what we've been playing to take a timeout. Tim,
I'll be quick.
Timeout for this week.
I got I didn't even know this was made for the Atari 5200, but Mario Bros by Nintendo was made for the Atari 5200. I found this at the resale shop at my store in my neighborhood and picked it up. So
was that actually developed by Nintendo, not Parker Brothers? Like
other it says by Nintendo right on it.
Interesting.
So
I think the 2600 and the Intellivision ports were from Parker Brothers.
How is it? Have you played it?
I don't have a 5200. I just bought the cartridge because it was, nostalgic and stuff like that. I've been buying some 5200 games because that was my system when everybody else had a Nintendo Entertainment System. But yeah, this says Nintendo trademark 1983. Atari 1983 and Nintendo 1983. If I remember the history right, I know Parker Brothers did some of that stuff, but there was an agreement I thought that Atari had with Nintendo to bring this game over to their system.
At one point, Nintendo reached out to Atari to be the U.S. distributor of the Famicom. Right. It'll be Atari branded, and they refused. And then so Nintendo said, "Okay, we'll do it ourselves."
I don't think they refused. I thought I know there's all kinds.
I don't know what happened, but either way, the deal fell through.
I thought Atari was going to buy it and hold it back, and Nintendo decided not to sell to Atari because of that.
I don't know all the details. I just know that there was some discussion.
Right. But that's my timeout. I thought that was pretty cool to find that Atari 5200 Nintendo game.
Very cool. Well, let's talk about what we've been playing. And just in time, he is back. If you're listening to the audio version, you wouldn't know that Casey had departed.
Why'd
just
you
a moment,
why'd you
but he-
dox me, dude? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, sorry, but he's back. He's not departed. But hey, Casey, you're a guest, so we let you talk about what you've been playing first. So what
Sorry,
you been
if you
playing?
listen to the pre-show, my daughter is she's having a bad dream, so she just wanted me to come check something in her room because I am wrapped around her little finger. My son, I'll be like, yeah, whatever, you're fine. But no, what I've been playing, speaking of her, is a lot of things. I know we talked off air. She's only 5. I've had to accept that she's not going to be good at video games right now. Right? I don't know if you guys went through this with your kids where you're like watch them play and you just watch them be bad at a game, and it's kind of frustrating, but you got to remember they're 5. And I feel that way with Princess Peach, as we talked about the load times.
What's the matter with you? Why can't you make that move? What the heck?
Yeah, no. Her getting the mermaid outfit and her reaction is one of my favorite things ever. I sent a video to like some families and friends because I'm so beautiful, but like, she's just so funny. She's a character. So that's been kind of our game, but like we play it for about 30 minutes, and then if she gets frustrated, I'm like, all right, we're done. Or like, let's Dad take over. Like, learn to move with the thumb on my hand. She's gotten better. Like, she's getting better, which is all that matters. And she's having fun, right? I don't want it to be, yeah, get good, bruh, right? Like, I want her to get good, but also she's 5. And then, I beat Unicorn Overlord. That came out. We've been talking in our Discord a lot about that. Great game. And so everything I've been playing is kind of in chunks, like just trying to finish Legend of Zelda. And then my son, he just celebrated his 9th birthday. And he got a bunch of money because he's spoiled from all his family and friends. And he loves anime like his dad. And he got how many of you, are you guys familiar with My Hero Academia?
Yep.
My Hero Academia is Shonen Jump's version of Marvel. Is like my joking answer. It's great. And there's a fighting game that's called My Hero Justice 2. We got the sequel. And actually, what's interesting on the Switch, it was on sale when we bought it. So you could buy the version with all the DLC for like $60. It would have been his whole, and I would have had to pay extra, right? Or you could buy the base game on sale for, I think we bought it for like $12 or something. And then we just downloaded the DLC separately. And it saved us $10 at the end, right? Because Dad was being thrifty, and I asked him, do you need the cheerleader outfits? Because it's an anime. And he said, no, Dad, I do not need the cheerleader outfits at the age of 9. And I was like, okay, hey, whatever you like. But him and I have been battling, so that's been like the one thing. Like, he has a character he likes, I have a character I like, and we fight when we get home. Which gives me memories of playing Killer Instinct with my dad. That was a game I remember at that age. Like, my dad would come home from work and we would play Killer Instinct every day. He loved my dad liked Bee Orchard, and I liked Cinder, and we would just go. That was the go-to. So him and I are kind of reliving that. And Dad's undefeated. I'm not letting him win. I'm not that dead. He's got to earn the W. And then the other game that I'm trying to play is Eiyuden Chronicles. When I did the first look for that runs really poorly on the Switch. The Switch port's pretty bad.
Is that the newer game, the 100 Heroes?
Yeah, the 100 Heroes. I backed that in 2021.
Wow.
It's like, when you don't want to be mad at your kid, but you're disappointed.
Always.
That feeling.
Yes.
And for those that are listening, there's a lot of nodding going on.
Yes.
So the game is Suikoden 2, which I've never played, and people tell me I love. I'd love to see Konami make a video game for once and not just do Pincho machines or whatever they do, the gambling machines. Game, JRPG where you can create 100 people. There's characters, and the graphics are great. The battles are great. The loading and offloading is such an issue where it's almost like a PS1, but you have to load in between battles. You have to load when you open a door. You have to load when you go to a new room. It's 2024, man. But they're patching it, and they've been updating their Twitter each week about, hey, we've made these improvements to this. Stay tuned for the next one. We're making another improvement to our Switch one. They just released the physical Switch version, so maybe that runs better because you have the chip, right? But it's a game that has so much going for it, and then it just because it runs so poorly, it hurts it. And I can try to ignore it, but I'm kind of like, I could play Zelda, I could play these other games I have and be enjoying my time. Because like I have maybe like an hour to 2 hours a day. If on a good day, I have a bunch, right? Like I have maybe 4 where I can chill and my kids are doing whatever. If I have an hour or hour and a half to game, I want to maximize my time. And I'm either playing with friends or I'm playing something that I can feel like I've done something on. And it's so frustrating because this game it's everything I like, but it's bogged down by mechanics and loading screens, and it makes me really sad. But Princess Peach, even with its loading screen, I'm super disappointed. I'm not even mad. I'm disappointed.
It's just disappointed. Right? Yes.
I'm just like shaking my head at it. Because if you look at the Metacritic reviews, it's great on PS5. It's great on Xbox. It's great on PC, on Steam. And then the Switch one is like the Metacritic reviews of 52 from the critics. Right. Yeah. And not that Metacritic is everything, but it is an interesting statistic to look at and why. And it's all because of how bogged down the game is. So hopefully they get it patched. And the other thing with that is the creator was of the company that backed it. He was the creator of Suikoden 2. And he passed away a month before the game came out. And I don't think that's like why it's running poorly, but when the head of the staff dies a month and a half before release, I think things get lost in the shuffle, and I think the Switch port did.
Yeah, that, and I'm sure it is a demoralizer.
Yeah, mm-hmm. And it's like I'm not trying to make excuses for them. It's just it is what it is, and I can see why. But the game that's there is really awesome. And the debate online is like about the localization. It's kind of like our FPS comment earlier. If you care so much about localization, go get a job at the company, do the localization yourself. Otherwise, be quiet and go to the back of the line before I give you a wedgie. Some of these guys just need wedgies. Like, for real. Like, I'm like, oh, you didn't get bullied enough.
Like
right? So you're tough on the internet.
That's half of Twitter.
Yeah, it's 3/4 of Twitter. I think some dudes just need to get. I was a fan of a move called the covered wagon, where you give them the wedgie and you hook it on their feet so they'd be stuck like a wagon. A covered wagon. That's the bully in me. For the little brothers, only for little brothers of friends. But really good game. And when it's fully patched, or if you can get the physical, I think you should try it or play it on another thing, or whatever your preference is. If you love JRPGs, it's got a lot of great things going for good voice acting, good music, good graphics. But on the Switch, it's just not optimized, and it makes me. I'm just super disappointed, which is worse than being mad. I'm not even mad. That's what I'm playing. What about you guys? What are you playing, Justin?
A couple of games that I'm playing. I actually jumped into not Nintendo related as much stuff. I'm still working through Tales of Kenzera. Listen, folks, I am about 8 hours in this thing. It's a 10-hour game. I'm just going to finish it. Game continues to feel empty. It's a bit frustrating. I wouldn't recommend it, but I'm just like sort of grinding my way through it at this point.
You're too far in to not.
Yeah, at this point, I'm like, we're going to just finish it and get it off the system.
We've talked about hate playing, right? Yeah.
Right. This is sort of a little bit of it. I'm just like, let's just get done with. I played XDefiant this week out on Xbox. This is the Ubisoft arena-based shooter free-to-play game. You can go and download it right now. It's not on the Nintendo, but you can check it out if you have another console. If you like COD, if you like arena-based shooters, it's not a bad one to jump into. But I will tell you, it's Ubisoft, and I don't trust Ubisoft's long-term strategy for their free-to-play games. I think Hyperscape is a great example.
Long-term strategy for anything?
Yeah. So, I don't think it's got the juice or does anything different enough to be able to knock something else out of rotation. I think in 3 to 4 months from now, we're not having a conversation about XDefiant. They have been cooking on XDefiant for way too long. And the thing that they believe attracts you into it is the factions are Ubisoft properties that you might recognize. So one of the factions is Watch Dogs. One of the factions is from Far Cry. One of the factions is from Rainbow Six Siege folks. I don't think that's enough for people to really get vested. And I think especially when and Xbox is talking about in early July, Call of Duty 6 is or whatever, Black Ops is coming in November. This was the best time for them to release it to get it out the window, but I don't think it has enough staying power to really break the cycle on any other free to play arena based shooter that's out there. My opinion. If you don't, listen, go give it a shot, but I don't think it's got the I don't think it's got the goods to be there. And I'm playing Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door, and I've never played it before, and I'm playing it, and it's listen. Here's the deal: I have struggled whenever Paper Mario games have come out since like the Wii. I have picked them up, and I get about a quarter way through, and I'm like, I don't care. Too much talking, a little not enough booming, blasting, shooting, and all these weird mechanics I have to learn. Oh, this time it's paint. Oh, this time it's cards. Like, what do you want from me? Just pick a lane and do it good. And so far, I'm gonna keep. Everyone says Thousand Year Door is the GOAT in regards to Paper Mario, so I'm gonna grind through it. And maybe it's the fact I came off Mario RPG in November, had a good time, but my intention is to try and keep through this thing. So far I'm doing okay, I guess. Still a lot of words. I don't like reading. I don't listen. If I wanted to read, I'd pick up a book. You know what I'm saying? Not why I'm playing video games. Go ahead, Casey.
Justin, is Madame Flurry a MILF? If we go back to our earlier conversation,
have I met her yet? I'm only
probably
about
I don't know.
45 minutes in.
No,
I'm gonna send you.
She's
link in our private
probably
chat.
10 to 15
Yeah, see?
hours.
Is she a MILF? Would you put her in the MILF category as we talked about MILFs earlier?
Hold on a second.
She is a character in the box art, so you've probably seen
Oh,
her.
is she the? Oh, I think I know who you're talking about. This one.
Yes.
She has a lot of energy from the lady
She has
from
total
American
MILF
Pie.
energy, right?
She
Yeah.
totally does.
Yes.
And she has the American Pie Stifler's mom kind of energy going for her.
She's gotten super big from that HBO show, the Lotus show. Oh, what is her name? Yeah, she talked like this.
Jennifer Cool something, right?
Coolidge.
Yeah, so I'm giving it a shot. I'm living my dream. I don't know if it's a dream, but I don't know. Everyone says this is the one, so I don't know. Who else is playing Mario? Everyone else here is playing Mario, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
My son wants to pick it up this weekend. So
I played this originally on the GameCube, and I have very little memory of this game. It feels very familiar. I know the story beats, but enough time has passed that this feels like a brand new game for me. And I love this game. It's exactly what I need right now because I'm balancing it with Tears of the Kingdom, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But I'm excited to play through this again. I do think that I'm not as much of a hater of all the other Paper Mario games, except for Sticker Star. That one can go die in a fire. But this is the GOAT. I mean, it is the one to beat. They've not gotten anywhere close to this since then, but that's like. Also, I think that Origami King is a very good game. I thought that Color Splash was fun, even though I didn't finish it. This one has some great RPG elements with your companions and all of that, and it's got a great story.
I do like the theater aesthetic. I think I like that look. That's fun. There's a lot of
lean into that a little bit more. So you're gonna like that.
I just leveled up.
I don't know if you've gotten to this point yet, but like there's you're going to come up on a point where you're going to learn that you can push the X button and send Mario into the crowd to hit people who are trying to throw rocks at him.
Not got there. I just ended up smacking a squid and to move forward. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, because the big blooper.
Yeah, the big blooper. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I've only made it to partway through chapter 1 in the time I was able to spend with it today, but it looks beautiful. I mean, like when they say that this is not just a port or a remaster, it is a remake. They've built it again from the ground up. It feels good. it keeps everything that you love if you've played it before.
Nice.
Definitely, if you're a fan of the game, I think it's worth your money for you to go out and get it.
Can I tell you a little bit about my experience today? This is a little bit of the like dad rant. Just a brief one. Maybe y'all can connect with this. So I order my games for physical games from EB Games or GameStop, right? Whatever you want to call it nowadays. And there's one like really close to my house, about 1.5 kilometers away. So it's like super easy. I can like zip out on a coffee break, grab the game, come back. So I show up today. It's 10 o'clock. I'm like, beauty. I'm going to go grab the game. And I go and I grab the handle and the door's not opening. It's 10 o'clock. I know the store's open. And then I notice a sign. This GameStop has been closed. They have shut down that GameStop. There's a big sign on the door. And I was like, huh.
Like permanently closed?
No, they permanently shut that one down. And they said, if you are looking for games, go to the GameStop in the mall. About a year ago, our Lethbridge had 3 GameStops. 2 of them were in the same mall, and then one of them was down where I live. Right. I saw recently they shut down one of the ones on the exterior of the mall. Now they've shut down this one. Now they're saying there's only one GameStop and you have to go to the mall. I was like, I pre-ordered from here. Now I didn't put down any money, but I was like, this is frustrating. Whatever, that's fine. And then I was like, you know what? It's a complex mall area. I was like, oh, there's Best Buy. I'm going to walk over to Best Buy. Y'all have Best Buys, right? I'm going to walk over to Best Buy. I'm going to just pick it up there. No harm, no foul, right? I just don't get my pre-order bonus. No game in Best Buy. There is no Paper Mario game. What? By the way, they have Switch games. They're selling amiibos, but no Paper Mario. I've looked in the shelves, not there at all. Also, how is Best Buy still a thing? This is a company that looks like it is on their last heartbeat, and somebody's just waiting to pull the plug.
Well, yeah, they pulled their DVD and Blu-rays earlier this year. So
Best Buy is the new Circuit City, right? Like
it's not looking.
It depends on which Best Buy though, because in my area, the Best Buy I have, they redid it, and they have it set up way different than any other Best Buy I've gone into. It's like their new like flagship store and all that kind of stuff.
Got it.
Yeah,
I think a lot of Best Buys will close and a couple will stay open, like the one you're saying, Tim.
Yeah. So then
you didn't have to pay $5 to pre-order that though.
Nope, not in Canada. Wow. You can literally you can
put
down money
and say
that's
what
great.
Kind of lawless nation is it's just like I would like my name on that list. Oh,
that's
sure.
That's exactly it. Now here's the funny part. I'd put my name on a list to hold a game, and then I mean, truth be told, sometimes we would get a game, right? A code would come in. So I no longer need the game, but I just don't go pick it up, right? I haven't paid anything for it. So they'll call you, be like, if listen, you don't pick it up in a week, we start selling it. I was like, go ahead and sell it.
That's explaining why your local GameStop is now shut down.
Maybe, I don't know for sure, right? I have to go over to Walmart to get the game, the very back of the store, and it's funny. I'm going and I go to the back glass and I'm like, where is it? Where is it? They have the game, but they don't, the game spot, but it's an actual like a ticket, right? It's not like a physical, and it says go see the clerk. And there's this other guy who's kind of did the exact same thing.
Like the old Toys R Us method?
Yeah. So I like go, and so like there's someone else waiting in line, and so I'm kind of standing there and I'm like, this guy did exactly what I did, which was he walked up, he saw the tag for Paper Mario, and I saw it because it was right there, and then he got in line. So I'm like, so I just turned to him, I said, are you here picking up Paper Mario? He's like, yeah. I was like, yeah, me too. And he's like, I just went to EB Games. I was like, me too. And then he's like, and then I went to Best Buy. I was like, me too. And now we're here. And so it was a real journey to get it, and it was frustrating. And I don't get my pre-order bonus that EB Games was going to give me, which was the sleeve that had it look like it was a GameCube. That was my pre-order bonus that I didn't pay any money for.
You can get it on my Nintendo.
Listen,
you can print it.
I'm not going through that. I'm not going through that. It's my heart is broken now. My heart is broken 100 little pieces. I'm done. My nostalgia for 1,000-Year Door, my favorite game I've played of all time.
I wonder if there's a correlation here with how retailers are putting out these games or not putting out these games, or even GameStop closing with all of these games not selling.
Well, remember last week, go, you continue your thought and then I'll jump in.
No, I was just wondering
Well,
if there's a correlation between the,
Oh.
the troubles that we have in getting to the games that we want to, or getting to a GameStop. Where was the place to go to get your games?
Yeah. There's sort of a chicken and the egg problem here, right?
Right. Yeah.
Because I was like literally after the whole EB games, I was like, yeah, I'll just go home and I'll just buy it off the eShop. Right.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm like, I don't need to be going through like, and literally in the end, it ended up taking me 20 minutes to sort this out. Now, I'm very fortunate. Like, I live that so close to all of this stuff. Like, it's not a huge sweat off my back, right? But like, just a bit of a pain in the butt. But yeah, now I'm like, maybe for those big purchases, now I'm either just going to go through Amazon, right, or I'm just gonna just use the
Oh.
eShop, and then it just accelerates the buying digitally, right?
Okay, which leads to what I was going to say. Remember last week, Amazon, well, apparently it happened earlier with Amazon, but it happened with Walmart, like just as we were recording last week, that people who pre-ordered the game physically through online means got their orders canceled. You had to go to
Yeah.
the store to do it. So people were
Yes.
wondering if there was going to be a stock issue with this game.
However, people are finding that if they pre-ordered it on Walmart and they got a email that Walmart canceled their pre-order, they now are having physical copies show up at their house after
They're still
they've gone and
shipping?
found them another way.
Interesting.
Isn't that weird?
That
It
is
makes me
messed
think it
up.
was like some kind of email glitch in their
Somebody
system.
messed up.
Yeah.
Someone is
because, I mean-
unemployed today.
Yeah, well, yeah, that as it happens, right?
And they're just
So,
swimming
yeah.
in copies of Thousand Year Door.
Paper
Right.
Mario Thousand Year Door, wonderful. Go play it. Yeah, good stuff. Tim, what have you been playing?
Some more finishing up Little Kitty Big City game, trying to get I'm trying to 100% the game essentially. I've already beaten it, rolled credits on it. Lovely game. Or again, I recommend it highly. And then also played Lysfanga, the Time Shift Warrior. We got a code for that. And it's a hack and slash game, but with some tactics to it, to where you use your character to basically clone yourself by using time. To say you got three different ways you can go with enemies, but you got to take them all out in a certain amount of time before you can move on from that. They call it arena, but it's just it's within the path, right? So, but there's like it forks off, but you can't unlock that arena to move on down your path until you beat all of these enemies, and then you use time to go down one path, beat those enemies, then start time over again where you came in to go down a different path while your past version of you goes down that first path you went. So there's like three different paths I can send my past self down to. And the last path is basically trying to meet up to where I finished off the last enemy and complete that area by using the time shift function.
Sounds like it's breaking my brain just thinking about it.
I can maybe I'm not explaining it well, but I have figured it out, but I can't figure out fiscal years for some reason, so but yeah, this game is actually, I'm enjoying what I've played so far. I will still keep me like into it. I don't know, we'll see, but right now it is something that's pretty fun because again, you not only do you get to use time to help you with this, there are skill trees you can use to give you better powers, to make you go faster, all that kind of stuff. But there's also an opportunity to beat your best time for that. So if you're a person who can't move on like I am until you get the best time, that's me,
Yeah.
then you might be stuck in an area for a little bit until you get the best time. But you don't have to. You can,
You mean
go.
the Zelda dive challenges? Yes, I'm
Yeah.
with you on that one.
So like you can continue on even if you don't have beat the time that it gives you. As long as you beat the characters in that arena, like I said, it's or in that section that you're getting through, then you can move on to continue the story, because this is a story-based game. It is hack and slash, but it basically is, like I said, there is a tactic element or strategy element to it where you have to figure out how you're going to get that best time, or how you're going to take out all these enemies so you don't die, because you can die by running out of time, and you're only allowed so many time rewinds, if you will. Of course, that will increase as the game goes on, and you get some more things you can add to your skill tree when you play. But I've been finding it very fun. It's different for me, and that's what I've been liking in gaming lately, is something a little bit different than the norm. So again, Lysfanga, the Time Shift Warrior, something to check out. Yes, Justin.
Sorry, gentlemen, I apologize. I actually have to drop for the night. Just got a message, so I'm out. Thanks for having me, though. I appreciate it. Always good seeing you guys. Love you guys. Casey, thanks for being here. Thank you for everything you do for us. I greatly appreciate it.
No
and I
problem.
know in a couple moments from now we have some things we're gonna give away, which is great. Thanks for supporting Nintendo Dads, folks. Thanks for always being a part of our weekly journey, and we appreciate you. I gotta go. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye, Justin.
Pleasure.
The last thing I have is on deck is my son wants me to play Elden Ring, and I've never played it before, and I didn't have an interest in it because of how hard I've heard this game is, because it's a Souls game.
It's a Souls-like, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and that's, I've heard enough of it to say, okay, that's probably not for me, because I'll probably just get angry and possibly throw my controller across the room. So
would you play that crab game?
Justin gives it a high recommendation for it, so I probably would. But that's the point of it, is that my son wants me to play Elden Ring because he's playing it, and because you can join in and help people in battles in Elden Ring, he wants me to
Your
do
character
that.
can, yeah.
Yeah, he wants me to.
Two-player.
Yep, because he's on the second boss and he's having trouble with it, and he's like, "Dad, you got to play so you can come join me and beat this boss." I was like, dude, I've never played this game before. So I just wanted to put it out there that I have it on deck, and I'd love to hear from the community about it. I know there was a time where everybody was playing it when it first came out and in our Discord, but everybody's moved on from that. So, but if you got any recommendations how I should approach this, being this is the first time I'm going to be diving into a Souls game, like how do I approach this game being the first time? So
Very carefully.
Very carefully, probably take a chill pill before I play.
You're going to die a lot. You're going to run into a wall a lot. It's like playing a Mega Man game. I think Mega Mans are the first Dark Souls, and I think Marty might agree with me there. I think it's a game that you just die a lot in, and you gotta learn to get good.
I no. Dark Souls is on a whole other level. Souls-like games.
Okay.
I cannot play Souls-like games. I can play Mega Man all day.
So now, Sammy told me that since I played Dread and got through that, he said, "Oh, you'll be fine with Elden Ring." And I'm like, "Okay, I don't see them two being the same." But I remember there was some hard bosses.
I thought I remember hearing that Elden Ring is the most forgiving of the Souls games. Maybe.
Okay.
That and Bloodborne are like the two easiest to enter into.
Cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to trying it out. He's been really pushing, like, "Come on, Dad, play it." It's like, okay, so that'll be something I'll play.
I'm sure you could Google builds too, and not Google. They're not paying us. You could look up builds for like how your play style for games. Like,
Oh,
I like to fight at range and just kind of. I think.
that's a
I
good
want to
idea.
normalize players' guides again, guys. Like I want.
Oh yeah, for sure, especially for us. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we
I
gotta
told-
maximize
'cause
our time.
I told Sam, I said maximize your time, and plus my hand-eye coordination isn't as good as it used to be. So
Right. So like it's okay to cheese it a little bit. Like here's the thing, if you take the time to research the game, kudos. Good for you. You care, you want to beat it, you want to be good. Just because there's a cheese build doesn't mean it's not a good build.
No, I get
I
it.
always think that term.
That's a good idea. I'll look and see what kind of builds there are and learn a little more about it and see if I can it'll help me approach better.
I know,
Thanks.
Tim, are you a melee guy? I feel like, or do you like to fight at range? That's a real question.
So I love hack and slash type games, so I'm all about melee. But
True Lions fan.
I've had I've had games to where I loved being ranged, like sniper type roles, where I could just pick people off, or just stand back and just at range fire off something there. So it depends on how I feel. Like if it makes me feel good doing that, like I feel like I'm not cheating in a way, if that makes sense, or if it's just me standing back and it's the strategy, I got to feel something good out of it, I suppose. So, but I've played both ways, but most of the time I just like jumping into the battle and just like, give me all the armor so I'm protected, but let me be able to, like just hack at that bad guy and kill it.
Yeah.
But that's what I've been playing. That's what I got on deck. So little
Jesse.
Kitty Big City and Lysfanga, the Time Shift Warrior.
Okay, this weekend I did a double header stream. Each game was about an hour and a half, and I took a break between them. So they're each in their own. Each game is in their own video. The first one I did is called The Exit 8. It's they described it as a walking simulator based on a Japanese train station.
Backrooms type the game, right?
Yeah, similar to that. There's a single corridor. There's some turns left and rights to cause breaks, for loading times and whatnot. But you're in a loop. It's basically two segments in the loop, and the primary segment, I think it shows it to you twice. So you see doors on one side, posters on another side, a guy walking by, and then all of a sudden you see a sign in yellow that's in the second section that says exit 0 this way, along with the sign, which is pretty much your only instructions are, if you see an anomaly, turn around. If you don't see an anomaly, don't turn around. Find exit 8. So basically, if you go into the main corridor, and if things look normal, you keep on going forward. If something looks off, then you turn around and backtrack. And then you did it right if the number and the yellow sign increases. Exit 1, exit 2, exit 3. But if you see it say exit 0, you went the wrong way. And I got to exit 8 once, and then when I got there, I saw these two guys in suits. So I'm like, is this because of the ending, or is this an anomaly? I don't know. I got a little bit too. Apparently I got too close for them, and I decided I'm going to turn around and go away. And when I turned around, the guys in suits were right in front of me, and they treated it as a fail state, and I had to start over. So. And that was the only time in an hour and a half, I got to the exit 8 sign. I was getting really frustrated at the end.
I bet.
I'm
intrigued by this game for sure. It was one I actually was like, I'll take the code, and it was like, oh, Jesse's already got it. I was like, oh, damn.
Yeah. And yeah, it's a very short game. Like each loop is like 30 to 60 seconds, depending on how long you kind of sit and study the room looking for anomalies. And sometimes they're really subtle.
So for me, 5 minutes. I get it. Yeah.
So it can be really subtle. Like there's a yellow stripe down the middle that separates the left half and right half, with indicating where you should be walking in the hallway. And then it's got a pattern in it. Sometimes they can change the pattern, and literally that's the only change. And I didn't even know that was a thing until I probably lost to it 2 or 3 times. Someone in the chat who knew the game was kind of helping me along. Sometimes it's blatantly obvious, like on the front and the back of the hallway is a no smoking sign. Once I turned the corner, 50 no smoking signs all over the place. I'm like, that's an anomaly. I'm turning around right now. So Yeah, it is a game I want to try again. Definitely not going to try it again more than this. Yeah, after that, but I want to give it some time. Then the next game I played is Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, which I thought,
Great alliteration.
yeah, I thought it was kind of like a large scale escape room, and I don't know if that's really the right way to look at it or not. Blanco talked very highly about it, and he has enjoyed it more than I have, and he's like 2/3 through the game, where I got to it was like 10 or 12%. I think the game starts you off slow with only 2 or 3 puzzles to solve, which is rightfully so. But I think it throws you into the deep end way too fast. Once you get inside the hotel, there's you find 10 locks, but you have no idea what the combination is to any of them. So once you find a possible combination, how do you know which lock it goes to? So he was saying it's one of those. It's a game that does open up over time, but again, by an hour and a half in, I was losing patience with it. He's downloading the exit 8. Anyway, so it is a game I do want to try again, but again, it didn't click with me. I may have to find a walkthrough to find out where I'm supposed to go next. But it's I don't know. I didn't like it as much as I thought I would.
Maybe it's because you had that escape room thing in your head, and maybe you just got to maybe step away from that thought and come back at it with a different point of view. Maybe.
Yeah, like the game starts like literally it's you in a car and a path. No words, no description, no explanation. And the first thing I did happened to be the right thing, but it's something that you can easily miss. And if you don't do it, you can't solve the first puzzle. Okay, then finally I playing Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. I got it a day early from buying it from the Japanese eShop. I did an hour and a half stream last night, streaming the prologue. I think in its entirety. I think I ended right when Chapter 1 was starting. And I since put in probably another 4 to 5 hours. I did Chapter 1, which then gives you, as Justin was complaining about, a lot of talkie. A lot of side quests open up. Like literally there's a room with a bulletin board with side quests to do.
Nice.
And I did all of them. And just finished the last one just before we recorded. So now the next thing for me to do is to start Chapter 2. So it doesn't run chapter to chapter to chapter. When you end a chapter, there's filler probably isn't the right word for it, but there's
more
discovery.
Side quests?
There's discovery. It unlocks more side quests. And then that you get to the new area that starts the next chapter. So yeah, then when I start playing, I'll be starting Chapter 2.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Then kind of my on deck, I don't remember the name of it here. Let me look in Discord. My son actually found it because it was not in the PR of the new releases. It's called Electronics Puzzle Lab.
Oh, and when you posted the game, everybody was thinking that was a picture of your lab.
Yeah. And Matthew saw that. He goes, that looks familiar. What is it? That's like my dad's desk.
Right.
So yeah, it's a $5 game on sale for $4. So I picked it up. I'll probably do a stream of that this weekend.
Cool.
And then we talked about earlier the Picross Namco crossover releases next week, Tuesday. I'll be picking that up. And I guess a quick update on Picross S Plus. I'm about quarter of the way through E8. I've put in
You're insane with that game, I swear.
I put in 135 hours.
That's all?
That's the time of puzzles completed. That doesn't
Yeah.
include lost time due to resets. If you include that, I'm closer to 190 hours.
You know, anybody who's listening to this, love to hear you guys leave a comment if you play this game, how many hours you put in to Picross, and if you are at the same level as Jesse. My wife does play a lot too, so she's got a ton
when
of
you
hours
finish
in
a
it.
game, it tells you it'll tell you the time it took you to beat that game by adding up the times of all the puzzles. Again,
Yeah.
that is like your best path. It doesn't include times when you've reset it.
Okay. So
But when
it
I've
doesn't. We're not talking about going to the Switch counter and seeing how many hours you
no,
played there.
yeah, if I look at my profile, it'll be closer to 180, 190.
Okay.
But if I add up all the times, it's like in the 135s. I'm wondering if it'll give me a big master time once I complete them all.
Mm,
I'm kind of hoping it does.
all right.
Yeah. Yep. That's what I've been playing.
For me, I've like we talked about Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, but I've also been playing Tears of the Kingdom. I finished the 4 regional phenomena finally, and moving on in that quest, and that's what I've been playing.
And you don't like it.
No, I don't.
That's a whole pre-show
and
topic.
That's
Yeah,
pre-show. Please
listen,
listen.
and y'all can
We talked about it last week
say
too, I
that I
think.
have bad taste in games or not. I am so
I don't think
sick.
you do. I think you have great taste because you're a Mega Man fan.
I'm so sick of crafting in every game. I don't want to cook 400 recipes, find a bunch of weapons to replace all my broken weapons, and make a bunch of crap to go and do every quest. That is what has killed my excitement for this game, because it's a world that I love, it's a series that I love, and it makes it feel really, really unnecessarily difficult and grindy. And it feels like busy work. Like it's like, that I think we talked about it pre-show that it didn't get that way until the very end of Breath of the Wild. Like everything else was all about the new formula and finding your way and blah 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 and all that stuff. In this one, it was just like, I feel like it was some of it was, let's see how hard we can make it. Like, so I don't know, like I love it. It's got its hooks back in me, but I also at the same time, like sometimes it's like, really?
Yeah.
Really, you're really gonna do this? You're really gonna make this happen? My weapon broke again. It's like the whole, like we couldn't just take, I don't know. I don't know. I will
Do
say
you
this.
feel? I'm going to ask you honestly on this.
The story beat elements and the actual like happenings of the game are awesome. I love it.
Right. Okay.
But the in between is killing me. It's just
This is where I don't get the disconnect. Because you like the story, the in between is just you. It's your choices with the game,
See,
right?
my thoughts of the game is almost inverted. I loved my own time figuring things out, doing the side stuff. I thought the main story was the worst part of the game.
I don't know, man. Like I just like I love the way that they reinvented Zelda, but like I kind of find myself going, those folks that want the point A to point B, do 8 dungeons and fight Ganon, like there's something to that.
I think that is a style of Zelda that people can like. And I think the top-down Zelda's style. I think in the true vein of Zelda, and not that this is a knock on how you prefer your Zelda, it's like saying, like, I prefer bone-in wings or boneless wings. Bone-in's the right answer if you like wings. But the thing is, to me, the original Zelda, you could do any of the dungeons, the first three, with as we know in NES in any order. Like, there's
Mhm.
intention to how they're doing this. The in between is your adventure of the game and how you play with it. If you don't explore the in between, you don't get the reward,
Mhm.
right? The game punishes you in that sense for like, hey, you need to be exploring this aspect. Like, did Marty? Did you get all the tiers?
Oh yeah, I've done all that.
So the only thing
I
you haven't
guess
done
I
is
guess
all the depths.
for some context here,
Yeah.
I'm 70 hours into this game. I have 22 hearts. I have 2 stamina wheels, and I just finished the first 4 regional phenomena. So I've done tons of side quests. I've beefed
Um,
myself up because I constantly feel like the breeze is going to blow by and kill me.
I'm
And
trying to be
it's frustrating.
non-spoiler. Hold on.
So, and
Yeah.
this is, we've talked about this before in prior episodes where this is where I was coming from, but I just came off of Breath of the Wild diving into this.
Right,
And
you played it for Breath of the Wild
I played it for a
forever.
long while, finished it in 2022, jumped in May 2023 in Tears of the Kingdom, and was like, okay, I can't do this right now because of the same reasons Marty is having, because
Mhm.
of when I ended Breath of the Wild, I knew each beat towards the end, I had to build up my resources again, make sure I had the right weapons and all that kind of stuff to beat the game. And I did that. But right from the get-go, Tears of the Kingdom, I needed to, when I got to certain places, I had to get through the game, rebuild my resources, get new weapons and armor, or weapons, and then be able to fight the next battle or be able to go on the next adventure, or even to get like there are some times too I'm in Tears of the Kingdom where it's like even to get to where I needed to go, I had used up all my resources and weapons to get to that point and have to do it again where I had to build my resources and weapons up again just to finish that goal of where I was going. Then once I was done there, then again, the whole thing, rebuilding resources, getting weapons and all that kind of stuff, just to make it to the next place. So it was all that just seemed like a lot, and I wasn't ready for it, especially coming off of Breath of the Wild. And
Yeah.
so I think that's where it's coming from too, where there's appreciation for these games. Like Marty said, and I said this before when we talked about it before. I love the world. I love being in it. I love exploring in there. I love being able to get to those points. But I think where we're used to be able to play a game straight through from start to finish, this one's a little bit harder because we feel like we probably need to take a break. And then if you take too long of a break, we're afraid of not being able to come back to it because we forgot how to play it.
Yep.
So
Yep.
it's like,
Right.
so we push through. So that's why for me, I gave up on it and was like,
I'm
I'm going to come back to it probably a couple of years down the road and play it. But Marty's like, I'm going to push through.
I'm totally ready to admit for it to be said that this game just isn't for me, right? Like that there is no doubt in my mind that this game is brilliant. It's genius. But I just don't like a lot of the elements. I'm really struggling with the like I want to immerse myself in the world. I don't want to be worried about finding um making sure that I have enough um stake to make it to the next thing or to be sure that I've got enough material to fuse to weapons and all that stuff. That takes me out of the game. It feels more like a chore than it does playtime.
Yeah.
If that makes
I get
sense.
that. Yeah, you got it all goes back. We got to respect each other's times. I get it.
Yeah, no, I get it. Like I'm totally okay with just saying, yeah, it's probably not my game. And
Yep.
it's fine.
Or just not in the right mindset for it right now, too. So,
Sure.
but never know. Like,
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, I'm still gonna plug away at it. I'm still gonna do it. I'm committed. I want to finish the game. I'm interested in like the actual the whole package of the game. It's just I get really frustrated with the
Right.
I have to
Yeah.
do the same thing over and over and over again. I don't know.
I think
That
you just gotta
makes
explore
sense.
the in between more, my friend. I
Yep.
think that's the move.
And I think maybe that's my problem with it is I don't really like exploring. I don't care
Right.
about
And that's a choice,
all
right?
the
If you
little
don't like
nooks and
exploring, I
crannies.
don't think this game's for you too. Like I get that.
Yeah. It rewards the curiosity of the player big
It
time.
rewards ADHD. No,
Yes.
that's the
Well,
truth of the matter.
and maybe
I'm gonna
that's
go fight this
like
boss. Oh, squirrel.
part of my
Oh,
issue is I
what's
get,
that?
and I've talked about this before with open world games. I get super overwhelmed by by all of the possibilities, and oh, I've got to go down here, but I need to be over here, and I need to, like doing these
Oh,
four
yeah.
like a regional phenomenon. Was like, oh, that's just the very first quest. That's just the very first thing. Like I'm maybe
Like
25% of the way through the game, but I've done so much chasing of squirrels and rabbits,
it's
off to
like
the
you put it
side
on
that
the
I'm
map,
like,
you're going this way, and then all of a sudden it's like you see something shiny over there,
I
and you're
mean,
like, I'm gonna go
early
dig that.
on, I'll admit, like as soon as the world opened up early on, I was like, I need all of the towers. I need them all. Okay, now I'm going to do that. Okay, now I know I know how to get the master sword. I need all of that. I need to do that. So I spent tons of time doing that and didn't focus at all on the story. And maybe I burnt myself out. I don't know. Anyway, that's what we've been playing. Let's turn on the community spotlight around the show.
Thank you.
So
Somebody in our chat just mentioned I need to get the amiibo cards. Here they are.
yeah.
I have all of them, and
Got 'em.
thankfully all of them work except one. It's this, and it's the Zelda.
I said had the
Gold-
same thing. One of them didn't work.
The Zelda Gold Wing amiibo doesn't work.
Interesting. Oh, all right. So with this week's community spotlight, I'm going to say, because we have an extra long show, that we're going to push our questions to next week and get those answered with any other ones that come in. So thank you for everybody who submitted those questions. Shannon, Darth Platypus, Chris HL, Mecca, Funchy Bunch. We'll get those questions answered next week. And because we assume it'll probably be slower news week, but we had so much going on. Plus we had Casey on, which was awesome. So we
Sorry,
wanted
I'm a distraction.
no, Casey, don't apologize. You're good. We want to be able to have those nice talks. And that's why that was fun to do that. And we'll do the questions next week. But we do want to make sure we mention the winners for our giveaways that we had, which was the Paper Mario 1000 Year Door giveaway. And we had a cracked Neo S controller giveaway that we also have to announce or the winners for. So, and I said winners because yes, we're actually going to give away two. We said one, but we have two to give away.
Surprise!
So surprise. So actually going back to Paper Mario 1000 Year Door, the winner is Tom Beef from our Patreon. He got pulled in our drawing for that, and I reached out to him via Discord. So Tom, if you're listening, if you didn't respond already, I reached out to you via Discord to ask for information so that we can get you your Paper
No.
Mario.
I have suspect about Tom being related to Tom Nook because of his last name, which we will not dox him on. But if he is a raccoon, I will not be surprised.
So
Tanuki,
Tom, if
sir.
yes.
Tanuki, you're right. Correct. Raccoon dog, not a raccoon.
So congratulations, Tom, for winning Paper Mario 1000 Year Door. Again, reaching out to get your information. Not sure, Marty, do you know if it's a code or are we sending him a physical copy?
Actually, it is a physical copy of the game.
Nice. Okay, so we'll need your address,
Nice.
Tom, and I'll get that from you in the Discord if we can get connected there. I'll probably also reach out to you via email if I don't get a response in Discord. Also, we had again the cracked Neo S controller giveaway. We have I bought extras because my family wanted some, and the reason why we were able to give away a second one is because They keep coming out with new designs, and I'm buying those. So we're giving away another one. Like they had the Neo S controller with Hellboy on it. I bought one of those. So the extra one I got for myself, I'm going to give away. And that's why we had two that we could give away. First one that won and was Darth Platypus. He won in our he's in our Discord. I reached out to him. He picked the this one here. If you're watching, it's this one, the old Famicom color one. He got
Love
picked from the
it.
two, the edition they
Cool.
called it the retro gold edition. He picked that one as opposed to the other one we're giving away is the classic clear NES one, and that's the one that Victorious GX won. That's Vic over in our Discord as well. He won this one. So I reached out to everybody and asked them to get in contact with me so that I can get your information and get them mailed out to you. So can't wait to send those out to you, and then I'll be sharing once we get more of these. I'll be sharing how the colors and unboxing of those. But we also will have another cracked giveaway shortly in June once we get the new Nitro Deck Plus. I got one for myself, and Nintendo Dad's also bought an extra one to give away. So I'll be doing an unboxing of that,
Awesome.
and then telling everybody then how you'll be able to submit again for the giveaway for the Nitro Deck Plus. So stay tuned for more giveaways, obviously. But congratulations to Tom, Darth Platypus, and Victorious GX for winning those things. And again, I reached out to all three of you in our Discord. So thank you for the responses or soon. Don't forget, we have our other events going on, like Friday Night NSO, which is every second Friday of the month at 10 p.m. Eastern, where we play a lot of the Nintendo or Switch online games with the community. Community can join in and play either via stream or come in if you're in our Discord to watch and play. Marty does Sunday night streams at 7 p.m. Central. He did one this past week. So whenever possible, he'll be doing that every week. And then the table is every third Friday of the month at 10 p.m. Eastern, where we have our get together to do the table. The community gets together to discuss whatever is on our minds. And in fact, today we announced that mark your calendars for July's dinner table, which is July 19th, is going to be a very special dinner table because it's not very often that we can get all four dads to be on the dinner table. And we're going to do that July 19th, where all four dads will be on the dinner table at the usual time to celebrate 10 years of Nintendo Dad podcasting. So if you are
That's
in
awesome.
our Discord, you can come join in just like you usually do for our dinner table. And if you're not in our Discord, you join by being a Patreon or a Twitch subscriber during the month of July, especially if you want to come chit chat with all the Nintendo dads. And hopefully, if I can convince any of the other past Nintendo dads to come join us, maybe they can come join as well. So, can't make any promises because it was already hard enough to get all four of these guys together in one night. So, but we'll, again, July 19th dinner table will be very special, where we'll all be chit-chatting about whatever questions the community wants to ask. And it'll also be just like any other dinner table, but with all four dads there. All right. Enough of that going on. That's it for the community this week. Spotlight. That's our show. Marty?
Yep.
Back to you.
So that means we're closing out episode 479 of Nintendo Dads. Thanks for hanging with us for this episode, and huge thanks to Casey Cool for coming back on the show. Always, and we mean this sincerely, always a pleasure to have you on. Thank you for adding to our discussion and our predictions tonight.
Thanks. I'm glad I don't annoy you guys. I love all of you. I was a fan, and now I get to come on the show and talk every once in a while. And
Yep.
you guys placate my interests, and you guys rule. So thank you
Awesome.
for all you do for the community.
Well, thank you so much. As we close out the show, we want to say a huge thanks also to our Patreon producers, Dave Ernsberger, Jacqueline Amira, RJ Kern, Solo Something, and our 90 plus other patrons who help keep the lights on over here at Nintendo Dads HQ. And also a special thank you to our 17 Twitch Prime subscribers, over 1,400 Twitch followers, and shout out to our now 7,500 YouTube subscribers and climbing. You can go over there and check out our newest videos each and every day. Almost we have a new video on YouTube, so be sure to check that out. Hit subscribe and like as well, so you're notified when those videos come out. You can head over to nintendodads.org for Spotify podcast feeds of our show, as well as other Nintendo Dads family of podcast shows like Star Wars Dads, Dads After Dark, and the Retro Logic family of podcasts, including Retro Logic, On Topic Retro, Retro Groove, and Film Logic. You can also find our newest YouTube videos and tweets, links to all of our social media, and as you need to know, Nintendo Dads merch over there as well, where you can celebrate our 10-year anniversary with exclusive designs. Don't forget to check out our sponsors, manscaped.com, use the code NINDADS, NINDADS, to get 20% off your order and free shipping. And Factor Meals, where you can get 50% off your first order by using the code NINDADS50. Email us at nintendodads@gmail.com or call in and leave a voicemail at 929-25NDADS, or that's 929-256-3237 for your chance to be featured on the show along with your content. Big thanks to OC Remix for the music used throughout the show. And a reminder, wherever you download us from your podcast app of choice, podcatcher, please leave us a 5-star review or some stars or some comments or whatever that is, and help make the world a better place and push us a little farther up the charts. Guys, this has been episode 479 of Nintendo Dads. For me, for Casey, Tim, Jesse, and Justin, we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Nintendo Dads.
Do you know who I am? Nintendo Dads Podcast.